Hello, everyone, and welcome back to today's stream of Seal Division 2. So, you're very lucky we get 2 this weekend. But yeah, it is a finals time. I've not actually received any word yet from the 2 players, but I hope it should be starting relatively soon. At least they said it's going to be around 6, which should be now. So yeah, for those of you who are watching and not aware of what this is all about, this is the Tribute to the Kingdom of Steel Division tournament. Not Division, just Kingdom of Steel. Hold on, did I maybe make a mistake during the title? I hope not. Anyway, this is what the tournament is called, and the way it works, you have both players have an army group with a set amount of divisions, so they made their army group. You have different tiers, and it costs you more to take a division in higher tiers than it costs you to take division in a lower tier. You have a certain amount of activation points, and you build your army like that. And then every division that you have in your army group can only be used once. That's the whole thing. No bans, just banning and picking maps, and then it will be played. So Liszek and Japaasa both managed to get into the finals. Liszek even made, Liszek got a little bit cocky and made the announcement when Koenig said that something about the finals, that Koenig's not going to make it there, and he was right, but that was maybe a little bit ballsy, but it worked out for him. So there's that, and I think Japaasa had to go through Moorbrooke, if I'm not mistaken. I might have been wrong, though. And oh, there we go. We get news. It's game 1 is going to be 16th Luftwaffe versus Theta on Tannberg. Now, let me quickly just check who of these two has which division. So Japaasa has both. I don't know which is which. Liszek only has Luftwaffe, so that's going to mean Liszek is going to be playing 16th Luftwaffe on Tannberg, and Japaasa is going to be playing Tetao. And I've got to say, I really love the Tetao choice. Now, I can quickly show you the army groups, maybe, if you just give me a second. And then I just need to quickly change the scene so that you can actually see this. I should be able to see it. So that's Japaasa's army group. That's the divisions he has available. So he went with Tetao, which honestly, I mean, if you look at this for Tannenberg, there's not that many picks that I would really want. I think Japaasa has tried Kampfgruppe Walzer a few times on that map, or at least once, and I think it hasn't really worked out that well. That being said, against Luftwaffe, maybe. I think it would be okay. But yeah, if I look at those divisions, Kessel would be a good choice, but I think he kind of wanted to save it. Maybe. But I don't know who first pick. I really cannot imagine that Japaasa with this choice here decided to first pick with Tetao. So my assumption would be Liszek first pick, and then Japaasa felt confident enough to counter pick with Tetao would have been my guess, because as Kerb says, Kessel is quite good on that map, so that would be the obvious. The other ones, not so much. Isn't this fan would be going guns blazing? Yeah, I would do too, but I guess I decided not to. Don't ask me why. And let's find Liszek's army group. Well, okay, so this is interesting because Liszek is kind of in the same spot here. He would have Kessel, which would be a good choice. And then that's not a good choice. Probably not a good choice because you're really going to struggle. Sorry, you're really going to struggle in the center. Otherwise, this would probably not be the worst idea for this kind of map if it wasn't for the center with the CQC where this division really struggles. And the rest here, I don't really see it. Hado, maybe. That could work. But yeah, I'm surprised he went for this instead of Kessel. So that is certainly surprising development. Both V for victory. I just got that news. Wow, okay. That's gonna be an interesting one, isn't it? Yeah, that's certainly not Kerb's game anymore because it seems to be a group game. The server sometimes does that. I don't know. Why? Okay. So they're still building their divisions. Let's take a look on these divisions ourselves so that we can see what they can do and what they cannot do. Because I guess it's specified. Yeah, it is. So and I get your point. You can start low, but I mean, if you can do it in 3 games, that would be preferable in my opinion. So, I mean, it's also possible that, you know, I like to do that sometimes when I know that I have one game is not going to be a deciding one. Test the waters a little bit, see how far you can go, do some limit testing, and pick something like that. Because if, you know, if you can, with a not so high tier division, bait out the high tier one, that is, I think in this tournament setting, actually quite worth it. Because then when you want to actually start shredding, then you have the good divisions ready to go, and your opponent may not. So, but at the same time, you have to be very confident on potentially, you know, the risk versus reward here has to be right. You have to bait out the right divisions so that you can really profit from it. And because at the end of the day, you know, it's just going to be you play a bad division, he plays a good one and gets a win, and then you can do it the other way around. Is that really going to help you? I don't know. But if you can do it the right way, maybe, or if you're confident that you can actually come out ahead with the low tier division, and you can kind of count on your opponent making a mistake, but that is quite risky to rely on that too much. So not really sure how to feel about that, to be honest. Anyway, let's look at the divisions real quick. So I think this one. Hello, I think this is Alot, right? Cosmic Legion. Hello. Yeah, you always miss it, usually. So nice to have you from the start. So we are about to win the 16th Luftwaffe versus Tetau on Tannenberg, both on V for victory. We don't know who's playing. No, we know who's playing what. Japaasa playing Tetau, and Liszek is playing 16th Luftwaffe. So this is 16th Luftwaffe. Again, my builds you should kind of ignore. There's a lot of division that I just built at some point when I had a lot of fun doing some builds, and then I got better and would need to change a lot of those. But anyway, so what it has is not disheartened unit in the recon tab, and that is noteworthy because after that is all disheartened. You have a ton of Luftwaffe. Yeah, you have some nice thing with this thing. This, if I'm not mistaken, is the one good machine gun that you don't really get to see. And other than that, it's just different versions of the Luftwaffe Jäger with the MG44 too, which is not too bad. All very cheap. Downside is your CQC is disarmed too. Yeah, but your leader is having discipline trait. So at least, you know, when you have leadership, which you should do anyway, then your units are not disarmed. This is actually, on a little side note, this is actually, in my opinion, a very, very good division if you want to practice using leadership properly. Because I've definitely noticed that for me, for example, it's something I very often do wrong. And this division kind of forces you to do that. So just a little recommendation for everyone who's struggling with that. Give it a try, just because of that. It's also a fun division, not a very good one, but a fun one. It's also not horrible though. It's a intermediate kind of strength division, in my opinion. But anyway, going back to the division as a whole, you're definitely lacking medium armor. There's not all that much in here. That's that Stück, and then there's this Stück. You can get this one, but whether you want that or not is, I think, very debatable. You don't have a massive AT tab, and it's one unit only. So there's that. But you have Tigers, and if you really want to go for it, you can have King Tiger Fund. Yeah. On top of that, you have a very good AA tab with the Flak Zwilling. You have the Flak 4188, which is better than the Flak 37 88mm, because it has, I think the rate of fire might actually be higher. No, it is not. But it has more pen on its 80, and I would assume this is, no, it's doing the same damage actually, so it's really just the 80 that's better. But that is quite significant because it will do super well against armor. And this matchup, don't think this is needed, but you know, it's just a nice little side note right here. And you have just good AA options in general. I mean, you don't have SDK sets and ones, but you do have the Flak feeling, which has really the only downside of not being mobile. But other than that, but you really don't need that all that much if you have this thing, which is an absolute monster. So fun all around. You have quite a nice light arm with the Panzerbrenn and the Panzerjägerbrenn. Two fantastic units. Super cost efficient, 10 points for this is actually pretty insane. It's slow, that's what the price you pay for it. Same thing for this one. You know, an armor 20 mil for 20 points. It's not fast, but it is there. Super annoying to deal with. Again, quite powerful. So, but this is very spammy. I think the center is where this is going to struggle a little bit because, again, you're only using Pioneer, so you have to either use a micro or just overwhelming numbers, which can be a bit tricky, especially if things are disheartened. You should have a leader with them, but it can still be a problem at times. And then, of course, the artillery for a long grind is fantastic in this. This is a good artillery piece. You do have the 210 Nebelwerfer, which is, I think, as you all know, quite good. And you have some 122s if you really want them. The big weakness of this division is it doesn't really have any 1500 meter range stuff, and that can actually be quite important sometimes. You do have the AT, but you don't have the HE. And there's so many games where this is annoying. Kerb says, I hope your passer buys a King Tiger. Liszek doesn't have any answer other than a cluster for cool. Well, Liszek can bring his own King Tiger. But the big problem is going to be, as you said, the cluster. But the cluster is quite bad. It usually doesn't kill medium tanks even in one go. So this is quite a bad unit for whatever reason. And it doesn't drop the last few clusters too, which is, I don't know, just bad, really. Moving over to Tetao, this division. Oh, I love it. It's such a fun division. Is it particularly good? No, but it is so fun. I love that division. It suffered quite a bit from, you know, the fallback nerf. Used to be quite a bit better before that. Not good, but better, certainly. There we go. Now, the most notable feature of this, of course, is your actual tanks don't come until C phase. But then you get a Stück, and you get a King Tiger, and it's the H version. Kerb says the King Tiger P will need to get very lucky to beat the King Tiger H. I would disagree. Lucky, yes. I wouldn't be good, like very lucky. Yes, the odds are in the favor of the King Tiger H version. And those 20 millimeters of armor do make a difference, but I would at the same time also say that it is perfectly possible of the King Tiger to pen them. Of the P version to win against the H. It's not, you know, chances are not super good, but it's definitely possible. But either way, if those meet at 2k, they will just bounce for quite a while. That's the most likely outcome. Main feature here, you also have a lot of disheartened spam, and is it better? In a way, it kind of is. You just have even cheaper stuff. It also dies faster, so there's that, and your leaders don't have discipline, but you have more leaders in general. It's quite nice. I do have military police units that you can realistically bring and should be bringing. And you have some cool leaders. We also have some chunkier units. So there's a lot in here. But this is really the main feature. So A phase, this is about all you get. You can take these guys as well, and that's going to be that. So we're going to be curious to see if Japaasa brings those navies as well and how much it can actually do. Because again, Liszek doesn't have a ton of medium armor as well. But he has the heavy stuff, which can already be problematic. So it's going to be interesting to see. Now the infantry tab has some nice little gems in there. We do have the SS Junker which now with the MP44 buff is actually quite good in my opinion. You also get shock on it, which doesn't make it a monster at CQC. It's certainly, you know, those are not equivalent to an MP40 at CQC, but they're not all that far off. And they do quite well, actually. So this thing, pretty nice nowadays. And then you have the SS Pioneer, which, you know, disheartened Pioneer versus disheartened Pioneer. This one is more expensive, but you also get more, so take it as you want. And you have a great leader with discipline, which is good for the disheartened Pioneer, and it has a flame, so that helps a lot as well there. This thing, it's a Fallschirmjäger FG42 for all intents and purposes, without the rated trait, and he may or may not have less rifles. I don't actually know by heart what the size is of the FG42, but still a nice unit, and then the rest is kind of meh. But you get some regular Panzergrens, you get these guys, which are quite nice and spammy for C-Phase for your CQC. So there's just a lot of nice things here that you can bring and you can use. Those can also be super annoying for your opponent if he doesn't have a lot of AT, which, outside of the Panzerjäger Bren, there's really not that much, and those should be able to deal with the Flak Panzer. They're super crappy, but that's the one unit they should be able to beat. So I could actually expect them to be quite annoying for Liszek to deal with. And the big weaknesses that I see here for Teta in this matchup is, of course, A-Phase, as we said, but also the A-Tab is not very big and not very strong, and Luftwaffe has a scary Air Force, as you would expect. That could be potentially problematic, but Teta has a scary Air Force itself, so we're going to get to that. Artillery Tab, not that good, but, you know, you get the 300mm Nebel. You don't need more than that. You get Panzerwerfers, which honestly, if you pair them up, are actually quite good. Yeah, it's like the 150 Nebelwerfer. You need to have them relatively close, but if you do that, they actually perform decently well. And then, you know, you have this thing, which is an absolute monster. Like, this is the best strafer in the game, in my opinion. Can't really get any better than that. It is a little bit too fast for strafing, but the extra survivability you get because of it, I think, far outweighs the negatives here. And then you have this as well if you want to have more annoying strafers, and you have some Focke-Wulfs with medium resilience and 2 bomb loadouts too, with not too bad availability in B-Phase as well, and a decent loadout. So all in all, you know, there's definitely some fun stuff to play around here. I'm very curious to see. Oh, also, by the way, as I said, you have Feldjäger, which you're definitely going to take, so that means you have some more discipline units for you spam, and that whole combination can actually work out quite well, surprisingly well, actually, I would say. So this is where we stand. Oh, they are deploying. It's 4 minutes, but that's okay. That means we can catch up now, and because I don't think they're done yet. No, they're not. They really shouldn't be. Curb says the King Tiger H only has 6% chance to be penned by the King Tiger P. Other way around, it's 28. But of course, there are a lot of other factors, especially with the levels. Oh, okay. I didn't expect it to be that. That's crazy of a difference. I thought it would be more like 6 and 12 or something like that. Which still, you know, it's twice the amount. But at that point, it's not something where you would be like, oh no, I can't risk it. Because that doesn't actually mean you have to try it twice as much. Because there's still an RNG factor in that. So it's always something we have to keep in mind with these pen chances. I do, if it's that drastic of a difference, it's definitely not a good encounter. I do agree, Curb. But if it's not a 2K, I honestly wouldn't mind, to be honest, with the P version. I really do believe if we get to the point where both players get King Tigers out, that is not going to be the deciding factor that they lose one. I think that's going to be in C-Phase when they have really started spamming everything they can. I don't think that would be the deciding factor by then. But yeah, let's see. So let's catch up a little bit. Or did I do that? I already did do that. Did I? So we have on that's Liszek then. Which is bad news for Japaasa, actually. I think Herb said that somewhere earlier, or somewhere else said that the sides are going to be decisive here, and I would 100% agree. And this looks not so good for Japaasa, because this right here means that Japaasa can actually be pressured out of the open early on, as he doesn't really have good 2K assets, whereas Liszek does. Oh, also, by the way, another important factor here is that Japaasa can bring, well, no, Liszek can bring the big 88 AA guns. So there's not really there's no advantage for Japaasa. I was going to say he has the pack, was it 43, I think, the 88 one? Which would also be useful against the King Tiger, but not so much at max range. But never mind that. But yeah, so the thing is, over here, Liszek will have an advantage as he can actually force Japaasa out of these two flags here, which Japaasa will not really be able to contest until B-Phase when he gets his 88s, which he might want to take because of that. Let's hope for him that he did, otherwise he's going to suffer here a little bit. Now here in the center, all in all, Japaasa should have the better units for that, but whether or not this will actually do the trick for him depends a little bit, because just these alone, like parking one of these like over here and one of them over here, will already make it very hard to push across here, unless you use some sort of smoke. And then these units do not have to radar trade through too. So unless there is a leader with them, they can easily get pushed out of this, for example, again. But that could be quite tricky. Japaasa definitely needs to get in here and not get pushed off. If if Liszek can hold this, or if Liszek ever gets to push Japaasa out of this is game over for Japaasa. Realistically, Japaasa would need to go through the center and in here. So Japaasa's definitely less room for error, which I think increased the pressure on him quite significantly. Liszek has way more room for error in this game, at least in the early phases. Later on, of course, not anymore, but early on, for sure. Just like, good evening. Thank you for the cast in advance, especially over the holiday period. Much appreciated. Well, welcome and happy to be here. I mean, that's a fantastic game. I would have watched that anyway, so might as well just cast it. This one should be good. Where is the vote for the winner? We can do one now. Yeah, we can do a vote. Just typing in right now. There you go. You can vote. Knowing Japaasa's playstyle, which is more trade-oriented and infantry-heavy, I personally think Japaasa can win that. But from like division matchup on the map specifically, in terms of that, I would favor Liszek. I think Liszek is favored with division and terrain. In terms of playstyle, I don't actually know how well Japaasa spam can handle Liszek spam. I've not encountered Tetris on division. I've seen Japaasa play a lot, and I've not really encountered Liszek playing this kind of division either. So I don't know. Let's see. Wow, not a lot of confidence for Liszek in this chat. To be honest, Liszek has surprised me quite a bit. He came back to Steel Division, saying he was super rusty, and immediately started doing quite well again. Immediately, he had a few rough games in League for sure, but, you know, since then he has actually picked up quite quickly. I wonder why Liszek bothers with a Firefly when Airstrike would do the trick. Did he take the Firefly? I think he hovered over it too, yeah. Yeah, true. Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, this is, in my opinion, in quick play I wouldn't take it anyway, because it's one unit, it's just not good enough. Not enough, considering your limited medium armor. But especially in a tournament game where you know that your opponent doesn't really have a ton of armor, this is really, as I said, this is just not efficient. There's no reason to ever take this in this matchup especially. So yeah, I don't know. Very, very weird call indeed. Maybe he decided that he doesn't need that much AT in general because there's not that much armor, but this is a very, very, very bad mistake. Because Tet comes B-phase, Teta will start spamming those cheap little 5-point tanks around. And then you wish you had AT because you are going to be struggling hard. So there's that. Which doctor predicts a crazy spam gay will come down to skill level here, I think. Yeah, it will, but the 2k advantage is not, you know, should not be neglected. So that does make a difference over here. Most of the tournament layout, I wish I could have joined. I had time. Was extremely fun with the army builder. Well, I might do it again. To be honest, it's a nice tournament layout setting, and I think people have generally enjoyed it so far. So I might do it again. Okay, so I'm going to close the poll now since the game has started. But 6% voted for Liszek, so everyone seems to favor Japaasa here. So nice deployment here with a lot of support weapons early on, and you kind of have to do it that way. You really want to have a chance of getting in, but no armor coming this way is a big issue for Liszek. Up north, he has all the Panzerjäger and Flakpanzer though. This could be a massive problem for Japaasa though, because he doesn't really have a lot of AT. The Flampanzer B2 can certainly work against those, The Panzerjäger will struggle penning that. But the Firefly, on the other hand, should really not. So if Liszek can avoid wasting too many of those, and maybe now I do see the reason why I picked the Firefly. Because the Firefly means, having that means if he gets this, he can immediately start blocking off the open here. And Japaasa cannot challenge that range whatsoever. Japaasa's push down south, though, is actually going quite well. Oh, Liszek brought the... Oh, true, this is also a very good unit that I should take. Because it has a good machine gun. And it is chunky for only 20 points. One of the few non-disarmed units, too, which, you know, it really matters having those available to you. So third round for Japaasa with his grab here down south. The Flamer, he can't really do all that much. In the center, Liszek certainly has way more units deployed. The Strumpio combined with the leader and potential some Flamers, yep, as well, should easily overwhelm the Ersatzbahn here. He needs to cover off this then, though, afterwards, because unless he managed to beat those without Japaasa pulling off the ground attack trick in time, this would mean that Liszek would probably run out of his CQC before Japaasa will run out, and that's something that Liszek cannot have. So the Panzerjäger have engaged the Flammpanzer, but they are on the run, and the Firefly is moving, and this is exactly what needs to be done. However, if this thing gets close enough, the Firefly could be taken out. That would be a massive loss right there. And the Panzerjäger 35R is a good unit to counter all that light armor spam over there. It is penable though, so that is the downside. Panzerjäger have re-engaged. Firefly is on it too, so far missing. If the B2 is going after the Firefly though, that should mean that these should be safe. Otherwise, it's not going to be all that well. Oh! Wait, does this count as a medium tank? Did it just get pent? It looks damaged. Okay. I thought it counted as line tank probably, but apparently not. So, that is good to know, actually. I played this division so much and back in the day, and I completely forgot about it. This unit being counted as a medium tank. So we do have the spam versus spam, and we do have the Flakpanzer Bren coming, which is exactly the right answer right here. Unless Japaasa can get close with some Panzerfaust, this thing is going to be... like, those are going to be really hard to deal with for him. Of course, Liszek needs to stay clear of the Pak 40, but that should be relatively doable. Oh, Japaasa even caught it off with the Flak 36 relatively early on, which makes a lot of sense because he needs to make sure that this does not get bombed. This is what is holding the whole front line here against any armor at range. B2 has 2.5. Okay, thanks. I think the B2 is a heavy, actually. I would very much doubt that, but considering I forgot that it is a 10.5 tank, I might be wrong here. So Liszek now pushing in the center. I mean, currently it's 14-10 for Japaasa, but his push here should be nicely countered by this Flakpanzer Bren. And up north, Japaasa is developing a nice push over there, but it needs... not Liszek, not Japaasa, Liszek. But it needs to be very careful with those Panzerjäger 35R. They can definitely stop him, but Liszek could get 2 flags here very realistically. And that is problematic. He's also taking the center, so Japaasa's gains here could very realistically be compensated fully by the push on the north and in the center by Liszek. Curb says it was heavy in when it was standing in the 30s, but not by 44. Yes, exactly. B2 is actually, I think, I am not... It's not that I don't know anything about World War II. I'm still interested in that period, but I'm not as much of a World War II nerd as some of the people that are in the Steel Division community. But from what I know, I think the B2 was actually quite successful in the early days of the war. It's just the way the French deployed their tanks was absolutely horrible, at least compared to the Germans. More SS Pioneer coming in. So Japaasa's plan, by the looks of it, is just push through. Oh, actually, Junker's getting a nice little flag over there because Liszek is kind of ignoring everything over here and just pushes straight through. It is working so far, but Trumpire is about to end that. I'm not really sure if that's going to win against the SS Junker though, because if we find one, or now he is exposing himself to the air spam. Luftwaffe Champagner. Yeah, I mean, it's really not... It has the flamer going for it. This is really the only good thing about it. Gonna need to combine it with something else. I think it's going to lose against the SS Junker. No, it is not. Okay. When flames are still powerful, yeah, okay. Would have expected it to just chew through those because the MP40 and the MP44. And now it's switched with Liszek taking 2 flags up north. Firefly pushing forward. Pack 36 is killed. Oh, but there's a Pack 40 here. Is it spawning the Firefly? Because that's what really dangerous. No, it reveals itself to a Flak Panzer Bren. But Liszek has not noticed. Firefly is pushing forward and another Bren is lost. Another Panzerjäger. Ooh, that could be spicy. Once that thing is dead, the B2 all of a sudden is the powerhouse here on the map again in the north. So all the Japaasa needs to do now is take out that Firefly. So those few units that are not disarmed, especially the armored, those are the key units here that if you take those out, that can entirely shift the dynamics of the game here in the early periods of the game at least. And we have a Stück coming in, which means that I don't know if you can take the AT Stück in B or C phase, because that would mean that potentially Liszek doesn't have any medium armor whatsoever after A phase, and that I think would be actually devastating. Because you can have all the Tigers, you can have all the King Tigers you want, but they can't cover off everything. So having something cheaper like a Stück, which is not super cheap, in there, in the mix, is actually quite useful. Sometimes. Because it can save you from making a very expensive investment. Liszek's push in the center here is still holding on. The SS Ausbilder with its, which is actually better CQC unit than the Luftwaffe Sturmpanier, funny enough, is doing its job there. Oh, now we have the HE-219 coming in, doing its mighty strafing against the 122. Japaasa is calling it back early, which would not be needed since it's only the Flak Panzer Bren, but I think he couldn't really be sure what it was that was shooting at it there. And there we go, the Flak Feeling is coming in to stop any future attempts like that. So maybe calling it off was the right answer. Sometimes you just all you need to do is not to be greedy, and this is one of those cases. It happens very often that you see people, you know, they would be safe, that the play would be okay, and then they get greedy, and then that's when you tend to lose the most usually. I think I've heard of this game before. Hello. Nice to see you back. Hope to see you also back in some tournaments eventually. Why stick when you can pack 40, especially when you are in the defensive? Well, considering the limited AET tab that 16th has, I don't think he has many pack 40s either. But for Japaasa, it's working out. But the Firefly is still alive, so it looks like he's noticed. Black Feeling is not... Oh, no, it is in position, but the Focke-Wulf is not in too deep. Now, this should let Japaasa know that now there's proper AA, so... Well, actually, it's smoking. Is it going to go? No, it's going to get out. Nice shelling down by the IHE-290, but he can't really do enough over there. Another pushing attempt here by Japaasa is stopped by a massive blob of Luftwaffe Panier and Luftwaffe Sturmpanier. Now, I'm not actually sure how many Luftwaffe Panier you have. So it's possible that Liszek is not going to have more CQC in B phase or in C phase. In either of those phases, he might run out. I think it's 2 cards, but I might be wrong. If it's more, then it's not going to be that big of a deal. The 217 with the massive 1,000 kilogram bombs is coming in up north, and that is going to hurt. Is it going to be a waste for this? Probably, but it is there. We do have an 88 coming in though, but it's going to be a little bit too late. Pack 40 also coming in, but the Firefly, no, the Firefly is not yet in the position it needs to be to really cut it off. It actually thinks like somewhere up here would be better. That is if Liszek can control this, because otherwise it's just going to get killed from over there. But Japaasa's push, oh, Focke-Wulf coming out, might get on the back of it. It will. And this, if it eventually dies, which it does, finally, this, ladies and gentlemen, is why you don't go this deep with a bombing run. This was just a little bit too greedy for Liszek. Liszek could reasonably have bombed something over here. The Flak 36, although it's closing in, so maybe it would not have worked. But this, you know, this is at least safe. This is probably also safe. This, not safe, because with the turning and everything, very risky, and we just saw why. So, we can get punished quite easily. Panzerjäger are now coming in, so those should take care, and have done so far, of the Flakpanzer. But then there's one more Panzerjäger Brenn, and honestly, this thing can also kill the Panzerjäger 35R. Now, I'm not remembering, it does 5 damage, so it would need 2 hits to kill the Panzerjäger Brenn, which also would need 2 hits on the Panzerjäger, right? On the Panzerjäger 35R. The 132 is in force for some fire support. Liszek nicely placed the target here, because he did it in a way that, knowing that the spread is relatively large, he put, you know, the target somewhere where it would contain 2 targets that it likes to kill, and due to the spread, you know, it would take a while to kill either one of those anyway, so you might as well make sure that if you miss, you at least hit one of those. So he has probably a higher chance of hitting something the way he did it than he would by targeting one of those units individually. Unfortunately, with Japaasa moving out, this would actually have been already very close. With Japaasa moving his pack 40 closer, it's kind of leaving that zone, but the idea was really nice. 30 land for Japaasa once again. More reinforcements coming in, but both players have been deprived of their main income for the time being. And it will rise up again, though. So we will probably not see any crazy investments at the moment, but Liszek still has quite some nice units over here. He's even taking the 17 pounder. Okay, that's definitely overkill. The Panzerjäger Firefly and the 17 pounder. So he has that, he has bazookas as we've seen, he has the Flakpanzer Brenn, and that doesn't leave much room for more AD. He might have 1 unit or none actually. So it is possible that... And we know that he doesn't have that many Stücks, so I'm making the call that if Japaasa starts spamming those 5-point tanks, which I'm not sure he will, because it doesn't strike me as the unit that Japaasa would use, but if he does, I think Liszek is in a lot of trouble, because it just doesn't have enough answers to that, especially not cheap ones. Curb says, we, FIFA Victory B-phase are weird. A brief pause in the battle. Yeah, kind of. I mean, if in the mirror-up matchup, yeah, certainly. Usually not so much, because your opponent's just going to pressure you hard. Buckwolf going after the bomb for a bombing run over here. Oh yeah, Japaasa has the SS Landsturm Aufklärer, which are also not a good CQC unit, but they do have Molotovs. Buckwolf's going to get out since there's no EA down south. Something that I think Japaasa will take note of as his Focke-Wulf flies over the south. And that lets him know that, you know, he is free to do some airstrikes over here. He has the planes, might as well use it. You can't use them at the top. Soon he's not going to be able to use them in the center, but you can certainly use them down south. Machine guns coming in to reinforce, although that is more of an attack here. That might also get sniped by the 122, which, oh no, it is still used to bomb. And Liszek doing the same thing again. I actually really like this. It's really nice move there. Up north, you have a fresh push of Liszek actually pressuring this flag, and Japaasa's reacting with some non-disarmed units for once. Ooh, the Panzerjäger Firefly is very dangerously out in the open. The AJ can see that. Liszek has noticed it's falling back. Is the Pack 40 also seeing it? I don't think it does know, but it's sort of Flakpanzer Brenn, so that's that one gone. And the HA219 is back in to strafe another 122. Black 43 coming in. Oh, look at that damage. Oh, this might actually die now. It's flying over the Flak 43 and it's going to fly into the Flak peeling. This thing is only single vet, this thing is no vet, and this thing is super fast with, I think, good resilience. So it might actually survive. But for any other plane, that would have been a death sentence. It is, this is just absolutely nuts what this thing can do. It feels so bad playing against this, because it does weird stuff. It gets in way too deep, that has a really horrendous turning radius, flying over a lot of AA, and it still comes out like it was nothing. So, one of the most frustrating things to play against. Can tell that from the receiving perspective, but also from, you know, using it myself and realizing how dirty that thing is. Now over here, Paz is actually quite weak, and Liszek is applying more and more pressure. I think his biggest problem is at the moment getting past these, and he can't just easily bomb the Pack 40 now. It would be way too deep anyway. But maybe he can just out-spam the flag, the 88. Maybe that's going to work. Speaking of spam, we're getting a lot of spam. At least he's preparing it. I don't really know where that's going to go yet, but he's having it at the ready. Where he says that's out at least one good unit. It has more than one good unit, but yeah, I mean, it is like 16th in a lot of ways. It's a lot of disheartened spam. Stug has been moved just to be penned by Pack 40 and is now trying to escape. Pack 40 lost line of sight, or the Stug got out of range. I mean, technically it shouldn't. Oh, maybe it was like right here where you got line of sight. It's just the line of sight was a little bit wonky, as you all know, because it is not it's not an exact representation. 122 may have shifted. Yes, using the attack move order now. So I think he's actually going after Pack 40. He does. Oh, and takes it out. First hit. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. What a deathmatch out. Indeed. Oh, fuck, Wolf's gonna get in. This one is. Oh, the Flag 43 is in way. He's way too close to the forest and didn't actually really get any shots off on the Focke-Wulf. Japaasa got a free airstrike there, and Liszek is in full retreat in the center. .122 is old. Yes, that's just moved in there and is probably about to finish off that 122. That is a horrible loss there. And Liszek actually has nothing else in the center. He's not taking in any reinforcements. The Flak-Zwilling is coming in up north, though. That's going to be juicy. The ADH has died, which means that Liszek can now actually push on. He might even be able to grab the spawn if he really wants to go for it. I think that is realistically achievable over here. He's unloaded all of the units, so it's probably not achievable anymore by this point, but he could have done it. He could have done it. Japaasa about to take a flag in the center, though, and another one here is being grabbed, unless Liszek reinforces this. Japaasa can spread out here a little bit, take some flags. Whereas the Sunga Panzerfaust coming in, Japaasa really wants to avoid getting pushed back to the spawn here. Flak feeling is now a little bit close, but not close enough for this. Ju-88C is still not. It's very cheap, but the loadout is really bad. I still don't get the concept of using this plane. It's 400 km an hour, which is not that slow, and it has very good resilience. I get that, but I don't know. I find it very underwhelming, to be honest. But maybe the way you have to go about it is you just take this and then you do that together with taking the HE-219 and the Focke-Wulf with medium resilience, and then you just have an air force that refuses to die. Maybe that's the concept here, and I'm just missing that. But there's that. Curb says, I think it's good since it dives to 10 bombs, kill its target. Well, you would think, but for me, I have very rarely seen it doing that very well, to be honest. And so my issue with light planes in general, light bomb planes in general, not just this one, is that the one that dive generally do well when it comes to killing. But at the end of the day, as soon as there's a little bit, there's going to be AA, and as soon as there's a little bit, the spread is going to be massive, and they just failed to do that. That's why I don't like them all that much. Yeah, if you're single, it might be better. Focke-Wulf does go down. Japaasa tried to go a little bit too deep this time and finally pays for it. He's bringing in the LAFH-18, which I'm not really sure why. Unless if he wants to use this as 2K over here, then I do get the concept. Otherwise, I have some reservations because this artillery piece is so bad. Even at, what is it now, 50 point, I think? 55 points? It's super cheap, actually, for a 105. It's still just bad. Good defensive planes, not great offensive as they get forced off. Yeah, kind of, maybe. Maybe that's a good summary, yeah. Japaasa actually got this flag back, but it's only 2 Sicherungs holding all of this. And while all of this is disheartened, it is enough. Not a Focke-Wulf coming in. Liszek blobbing up here is a big problem for him, because then one bomb can basically pin everything and make it run. So if he spreads a little bit, and also it means it's generally bad to blobbing, because it's an easy target. On top of being an easy target, it also makes it so that anything shooting direct at it will affect all the other units around it as well. But especially here, we just need to spread out a little bit. I think that should be fine. Good as probably stronger passable defense planes would be a better way to saying it. I mean, if that is your intended use, then I would say it's probably not a bad plan. I don't like it, but I can see that. Curb says, I think you pass in the back now. It's C. He can win the CQC with big lights, and of course he gets armor. Yeah, it's going to be a rough one for... It's going to be a rough one for Liszek, probably. Although, if Liszek can start grinding him out here, I think that could still be won by Liszek. If he gets both flanks. You can win but if you lose the center, but you need to get both flanks. If you get only one of them, you can't win, as I've proven twice now on this map. Once against Curb and once against what was it? Valzer, where both time I think I got one flank and then I lost the entire center, and in the other flank at least I didn't get a full win or even lost it too, and that's going to lose you the game. Likely Curb, unless Liszek gets some great trades. You mean Japaasa, I assume. This game is going a full 50 minutes. I think there's a non-small chance that this is going to be the case, yeah. What do we have coming in? Oh, more artillery. This is the one advantage that Liszek has, if they really go full grind. Liszek has more and overall better artillery. The 300 Nebelwerfer is fantastic, but Japaasa can get maximum 2 out of those. And the Panzerwerfer is nice, but also limited once again. Funny is, I just realized that, you know, Japaasa didn't actually bring any artillery in A phase out. I'm not even sure if he had any. It's possible that he decided not to have any artillery in A phase and just rush in. And then he could have moved all the ammo to C phase, which would not be a bad idea considering that he will probably be using a lot of rocket arty, and he's going to need all the ammo. I generally would not be surprised about it. Oh, the Flak 43 is being forced off. Flak Zwilling is still waiting here, lurking, ready to kill whatever plane is going to come out. Another LAFH, but he's definitely going to use that as 2K by looks of it. No, he's using it for indirect fire too. Never mind. So the center, as Witch Doctor has pointed out, Battle of the two sides of the map, very common. Yep. The center at the moment is pretty quiet. Quite quiet. But Japaasa is making some moves. He has like the single value, just were double weapons of the leader. So he has a lot of those to spam around. Certainly more than Liszek's gonna have in terms of in terms of CQC. Oh, Knispel is coming out. So you all know the rule. Aces always die. So I wouldn't really expect this to survive very long. Curb already says, ring the King Tiger alarm. I need a button for that. I need a button for some units, like a soundboard button. I want to have the, you know, the what's it called, the air horn for King Tigers or something like that. That's a fun thing. I need to get that. I'll put that on the list for improvements for next year. That would actually be quite fun. Stück coming, maybe not for cast. I think that those should be a bit more serious than the streams, but or at least I've enjoyed them more like that. But for this, I might be able to edit it in. But I need something like that. I need something like that. It's actually a fun idea. Oh, big artillery is going down on the Pack 40 here already. Is there any tank coming that would need this to be dead? No. Stück's now on your Japaasa side. This is going to be a problem for Liszek. The other problem here for Liszek is going to be the other problem is going to be for Liszek. If those get actually in up close, and Liszek has pretty much only King Tigers and Tigers left, close enough, the Stück can pen that Tiger, and you don't want to send your Tiger versus Stück up close. Now, obviously, the Tiger is favored in that encounter, but the risk of losing it to a Stück in terms of point trade is really bad. Curve says a soundboard with flag gain lost, unit lost, and 20 voice would be good. Well, to be honest, it would actually be a nice idea, yeah. I agree. But it shouldn't be overused. So it's not something you can do whenever a flag changes or something like that, because it would just be too, like take too much focus. But it would be a fun thing to be used sometimes. Focke-Wulf is coming in. Is it seriously? I mean, he tries to pin it. I get the concept, but I think he's going to pin his own unit in the process. Yeah. I mean, he stops the push. But I guess, well, now these guys can come in. I get it. Control says the sound design in this game is really underrated. I actually think it has good sound design, yeah. I do agree. I really like the voice line things, and it's just nice flavor, but I think it adds to the atmosphere. And the flag loss and air alarm and these kind of things are actually useful. And they're like distinctive enough, but not annoying. But the air... The air alarm is kind of is, but that is not just because of the sound, but also with what you have connected to it, basically. Now we do see the 35R, so Japaasa is spamming those around. I think Liszek is going to struggle a lot with that. I don't really know how Liszek intends to deal with all of those. If they're all in one place, not that big of an issue, but if they're actually spread out a little bit, I think it's going to be tricky. Have you heard the bizarre American Death voice line that goes for like 15 seconds? I don't know which one, though. I might not have heard it, actually. Now, also, Panzerguns are coming in, so Japaasa is going to get some quality infantry, which should make quick work here and easily clean out those units. There's a lot of them to clean out, but Japaasa can bring a lot of Panzerguns now. More stuff coming in. 30 for Japaasa. Yeah. I do have to agree with Kirby. Japaasa, I think, has this win pretty much secured here. Oh! King Tiger alarm yet again. And we are going to see them at 2k by the looks of it. This is the range, as Kirby said, that we don't want to see them. Or that Liszek doesn't want to see them. We want to see it anyway. I don't care about the range, I just want to see them fight. Now, the one thing that I think Liszek is going for is the artillery. That can help. And the Focke-Wulf, there's no AA over here. Ooh. Yeah, he's now focusing the King Tiger as he should. Commandant? Oh yeah, Commandant spotted, you're right. That's going to be spicy. Let's see. This is going to be a game changer. It's not going to kill it, but it is a game changer. As you guys said, 7-1 coming in immediately. That's going to be bad news for the Focke-Wulf. It's going to go down. How damaged is it? Quite damaged, actually. It's turning. If Knispel gets shot on it, which it doesn't by the looks of it, that could have been it. Even the Firefly maybe, well, not might be. The Firefly should be able to pen it as well now, but it doesn't. So, Buzz is going to get out. And there's no second chances in this case. That's not going to happen again. I've never seen a King Tiger versus King Tiger battle in these matches. But there was one on the channel at some point, but it's quite a while back. Japaasa takes them unvetted, so he has 4. Case Lucifers. Liszek takes it vetted, which makes sense. You don't need that many King Tigers. And yeah, what I also love to see, so Japaasa has these leaders, and then he also has another one here. This is why the Commandant is so worth it here. He also takes these guys, which are quite good. I mean, this is a proper fighting unit, and it is a leader on top. It doesn't have to give you a radio, but this division does not really need that much radio anyway, so it doesn't really matter all that much. You could even have another one, which I don't think Japaasa took, or at least I haven't noticed it. There's another one that is only 15 points. I kind of like to have all 3 of those leaders in the deck, to be honest. Oh, King Tiger duel. Thanks, Curb. It looks like they both managed to not pen. Now, here's the thing. This thing has a higher chance of penning, but this one only needs 1 pen. So, it is a very much just gambling at this point, because the chances might favor Japaasa maybe, but It's a huge gamble. Now, we got the first pen from the King Tiger H on the King Tiger P. Not really sure what just happened here. Disengaging by Liszek. He doesn't want to take chances here. The artillery is actually coming up and trying to do the trick now. Japaasa has not yet moved, so the artillery might actually be able to just pick up an easy kill here if it lands. Because this... he has another one right away. I have bad news for Liszek here. I don't think he's going to get away that easily. Oh boy. Oh boy. But yeah, down south, everything here has, like, the center is basically lost. Liszek is still holding it, but he can't hold it for much longer, especially now that the 35 blob is coming in. Japaasa now also falling back to dodge the AA. The RT. Focke-Wulf coming in up north. Just to pin once again. Like, if I was Liszek, I know there's an SK-1 over here, but he could potentially try to find a way to kill that. But if I was him, I would try to get rid of that SK-1, save up both of these, and then go again after the King Tiger. Because 2-on-1 should probably do the trick. Oh, SD, for God's favor, you're asking. Well, we had that discussion earlier that, so I didn't think it did make that big of a difference, but apparently I was wrong. About the King Tiger H's chance of penning the P and the P's chance of penning the H. And apparently it's 6% for the P version to pen the H, but H is 28, which is quite a significant difference. So it's not really the gods favoring him. It's not really the luck favoring Japaasa. It's really just... he should be favored. But of course, you know, this is always a gamble. Since, you know, you can get that lucky time where it just pen immediately. That can happen. Oh, look at that. Something just took out Panzerjäger, Firefly. It did survive for quite some time. Now, did it actually do something useful for the most of the time? I actually don't really think so. Oh, nice RT hit that kills the 105. Oh, Pack 40 has been spotted. Stuk, I think, is turned on it too. Luftwaffe Fusilier is going after it. The recon nicely far forward. I'd love to see that. Fiddler for Japaasa again, but at least I can not giving up on this power portion of the map over there yet. J88 coming in over here. There's not a flak swilling over here, but it's too far back probably. If it's turning the right way, which it does, it should get out. If it was turning this way, I think that would be certain death. So I think ask if this is a meme game. I mean, I don't think you can answer with no. But at the same time, yes is not the right answer here as well. Ooh. Vestal's about to die too, but that is not the price. The real price is this right here. If this is that, one of these is going to die. Most certainly. Would have expected Japaasa to send in another AA piece, just in case, but apparently it's not going to happen. The A217 is going up north for another bomber run. If it flies that way, same concept as before. If it's going to go that way, it's going to be fine. If it goes that way over the SK-1, it's probably not going to be all that fine. What really surprised me is we have not seen any rocket artillery whatsoever from either side. And both people, like both players, are blobbing up. Oh, Liszek has saved his Focke-Wulfs for this, and I can understand that. Though I think he doesn't need to, but considering how bad they are, maybe it's better like this. Kills a blob. Bad news for Liszek is Japaasa more where Daves came from. If it takes them, I think it's like 8 or something like that. If you take them in B phase and things like that, there might be a lot more if you take them in C phase. I don't actually know. But that means, oh yeah, now he's queued up for the SK-1. Japaasa's not moved the King Tiger, so it's just going to get arted again. We're still not seeing any big levels going after them. But it actually makes a lot of sense, because realistically speaking, there's not much that Liszek can gain by killing them. As long as Japaasa stays back here with his King Tigers, that's actually good for Liszek, because it means he's going to keep all of this. This is where, you know, things are really on fire at the moment, and where Liszek really needs to do something. He may actually be over-focusing this at the moment. Focke-Wulf might actually go down. He was flying into Flak 43, Flak Zwilling, and the Flak Feeling. Still gets out, but the Ju-88 is not as lucky. Still 30-11 for Japaasa. 40 minutes left though, so Liszek still has a chance to turn this around. But if you look on what the amount of value on the map is, Japaasa's way more. Japaasa's out-traded Liszek by this point, very clearly so. And Liszek is fighting over the center, which is not his strong point. Although Japaasa is sending in a lot of Begleitruppen quite aggressively, which means he might actually start running out on those eventually. Which then would lead to Liszek being able to take control of the center again. But as it looks right now, 12-12, there we go. As it looks right now, I think Japaasa is still favored with this fight over here, and Japaasa is pushing Liszek out of town too, so that's really, really bad. And Panzergrenzer are coming in as well down south. Not looking very good. Not at 105 points. Japaasa definitely took them in B-phase. I took that 4 King Tigers overkill, but I think I was wrong. Well, oh, one of them died. Just really did it. Look at that. Look at that. So surprisingly enough, it's not Liszek who lost the first King Tiger of the game. I have some doubts that he is going to lose his King Tiger at all. He might just sit back and not do it. So we're going to have the SDK Z7-1 next. Japaasa is moving. They're retargeting, so I don't think they're going to hit unless a lucky miss here is gonna hit, or unlucky depending on who you ask. Doesn't look like it though, so it's going to get out there. A row of Focke-Wulfs coming. They're too close to each other. So with the SKS-1 running, I know it's not actually really running. It has recovered. But with this thing actually, yeah, now they're spreading out. Because I was going to say, it would just pen off us. But I think Liszek is over-focusing on this. He should really be focusing on that. That King Tiger at the moment is not being an actual threat. It's not doing anything. The spread from the SKS-1 will actually make them miss both. And if not, he's going to lose them. Oh, he killed one of the SK-7-1s. Nice. But another one came in. It might actually kill the Focke-Wulf. Also, the King Tiger survived once again. Not actually damaged at all. Or maybe just ever so slightly. Liszek now getting pushed out of the southern flag, but he's actually retaking the center. And I don't see any more... what are you called again? Begleitruppen? No, they're all dead. I can't look at them anymore. Anyway, I don't see any more of the CQC units coming in, so it's possible that Japaasa just threw them all away over here. Oh, there we go, Begleitruppen. Yeah, there we go. More Luftwaffe piling in as well. As well as more Festungsgrenadier. So Liszek really losing the fight over the south here. He's doing okay when it comes to retaking the center, but I think the biggest issue again is Japaasa is focusing too much. Liszek is focusing too much on those King Tigers. As they were over there, they really just weren't a threat, actually. Like, they were not doing anything. They were not threatening to take back a flag. So, there was not actually a big problem. And Liszek doesn't have much to gain here. He got that flag, which is nice, but he only has this one to get. Well, actually, maybe another one. So, maybe it's worth it. But I still think he could have invested more over here and probably got more out of it. Not a King Tiger is coming in, by the way. Or another King Tiger has been called in, and another one is coming in here as well. King Tiger H is bound to re-engage. Which rhymes, actually. Quite nice. Anyway, not a 17 pounder coming. Not really sure if that's... Well, against the Stug, I guess. Yeah, makes sense. But the lack of tanks here, I think, is really punishing Liszek. He cannot push back here. He just doesn't have any tools that allow him to do that. Which also is Christmas, bring them all for us. I mean, I have to say, in a serious tournament, I have never seen this many King Tiger in one game. Never ever. The most I've seen so far, I think, is 2. But this is a new record. And look at how offensive they are. I think Liszek just tries to break and out spam here. Kerb says Liszek has traded really well, but he needs to convert it into flags. Yeah, I think at first Japaasa has heavily out-traded Liszek. Then Japaasa has traded poorly. Liszek just regained. And now, as he said, if Liszek can actually get flags with his trades, then he's in a winning position. Is he just rushing to the... No, he's not rushing to spawn. Aww. Maybe he just joined. What the fuck am I watching? I think this is just the game of the year here. This is what you're watching. 13-11 for Liszek now. I might not be enough to equal out here. I think he might need a 15-9 here. Yeah, curve also just set signal tick. It might not be enough. I also don't think it's going to be enough. Liszek needs more here. He needs a 15-9. Oh, SDK sets and one goes down. The Focus might be back on the menu for the King Tiger. Although one is going in over here for a nice little pinning run instead of a killing run. No, Stück versus King Tiger. No, Stück versus Infantry. Don't know what those are going after. Oh, also Infantry. Japaasa not wanting to engage. Although at this range, he doesn't want to engage. Because the 2-on-1 at this range, I think, is not really favoring him that much. 14-10 for Liszek now. Can he actually pull it off? Focke-Wulf coming in for the Stück. I think Liszek might be... No, Japaasa just needs to stall. Is Festungssandir coming in? I think he's out of Begleitgruppen. But that's okay, as long as he can remain keep the 13-11. Damn, I really wish I could make that into the cast. That would bump up the views a little bit again. This is pure gold, this game. Oh... This game is something else. But the longer that Liszek remains on the 13-11 and not the 15-9, which I think he needs, not for long, but just a bit, the harder it's going to get for him. So he really needs to increase the pressure. The other problem is, we have another King Tiger coming in. Or is that the one that was in here and was shifted? Yeah, I think it's we didn't see one die on Liszek's stats. I think it's still just a free. Japaasa is spamming this now. Oh, the Flak-Zwilling died. Japaasa got another flag here. This is why we have the 12-12. A fresh row of Luftwaffe Jäger coming. As Kerb says, I try to keep also track of chat, but it's not that easy. Japaasa out of big lights, which, yeah, as Kerb correctly said, makes the center pushable, and Japaasa starts to push. Liszek starts to push. Not a King Tiger Age coming in. Knispel. Is he gonna die? Japaasa should stop driving it. He should Q-move it now. It's gonna get a little bit too close, maybe. This is not yet engaging, though. I think it's just sitting there in ambush position. We do see a 3-on-1. 3 King Tiger P versus 1 King Tiger H. I think it's the King Tiger H is gonna lose just because it's gonna get stressed out eventually, and then it's gonna get killed. I mean, all Japaasa needs to do is hold at the moment. Or at least hold a bit. 15-9, there we go. Japaasa's trying to prevent that, though. He's pushing here, he's pushing there. 14-10 again. He tries to deny it over here. Ooh. Spicy, spicy, spicy. Focke-Wulf coming in. After this King Tiger H just went down. Japaasa's going to lose the entire north. Well, there is not that much to lose here anymore, to be honest. If I was Japaasa, I would just focus on everywhere else now, because there's literally nothing that Liszek can gain over. He has 3 King Tigers over there. They're going to be absolutely useless unless he shifts them down. The Stück needs to be careful because it might get killed. If that Flamer goes down here, that's another flag for Japaasa. It's going to be back to 12-12. Japaasa, I think, has the south finally firmly secured, and he is about to seal the deal here in the center. Nah, actually, Liszek is moving in there. Some Begleitgruppen are actually still here, so Japaasa can still win the center here. He needs to make sure that he doesn't lose that flag. He might be able to regrab this one, even this one. Let's look at this fight here. Any pioneers here left? No, but there's also nothing like this on Japaasa's side. It's going to be a very tricky one. How many characters see this game? We have 3 over here, and now we have 3. We had 3 over here, so 6 King Tigers in total. That is. Kerb says, wow, Germany's entire 1944 production has been destroyed this game. It looks like this, yeah. Japaasa retook this flag, and Liszek, again, he has a massive force over it, but he can't turn that into any flags down south at the moment. I think he was playing too focused on this side of the map. I really do believe he just focused too much on those King Tigers over here. I think if he spent resources for those extra King Tigers he got over here on the south, this game could look very different. But as it looks right now, I think Japaasa might just be taking him in. Or actually, is he still? The brief moment of 59 could have done it. Then again, Japaasa's probably going to stabilize here. And we had some 12-12 too. Focke-Wulf is coming in once again. And Teta's weak AA situation really punishing here at the moment. At this point, I think I would shift to flag 36 over here, because Liszek can't possibly bomb that many things in here to really get that flag back. But in the center, this is where his Air Force can really be devastating. Oh, one big light trumpet is doing a ton of work here. I think this push might die here. Same for this one. This flag is also very, like, there's very thin grab on it. Pack 40 squares off against the King Tiger. One of the three. Knispel's still alive, by the way. Maybe the aces do not die this game. Knew that Tannenberg is a 10v10 map, but I didn't know you could pretend to play 10v10 on it. Yeah. 105 is moving in to grab the flag. How crazy is that? I mean, this is the usual end game stuff where everyone is just trying to do something. On the flag 36 coming in, A217 is bombing over here, but this is not the unit that is really dangerous. This one is still holding the flag. Not a Sicherung is moving in. Big Light Troop and Festung are moving up over there. This Big Light will win against both these Luftwaffe most likely. He's going to get the flag back 30-11 still. Japaasa needs more than that. He needs a 14-10. He lost. What did he lose? Nothing. Wow. Oh, maybe this one was grabbed briefly. 12-12. I think Japaasa's going to keep this. Japaasa's going to hold this game. He might even bring it back to 30-11 briefly. If he takes this one, which he might because of the big light group. They are just better here. They can take out one Luftwaffejäger. They might take out another one. Molotov is about to fly. Festungskandidat and Sicherungs are in there as well. King Tiger actually grabbing a flag. Sicherungs tries to have a go at the armor, but that's kind of futile. Oh, another King Tiger die. We officially can race to 7 King Tiger in this game. 2 are still alive. Knispel did die, so we were right. Aces always die. I don't know where it died though. Nothing's over here? No. Is that it? That is Knispel. Goodbye, Knispel. You did your job. You did it well. You died. As you should. Fuck Wolf going after the next King Tiger. It's once again not going to kill it. But the King Tiger P might. If this thing is running in weird ways, might do it. J188 is also coming in the wrong way. I think Japaasa should now really focus on this. Liszek, kind of traumatized from his Air Force experience, is calling in a ton of AA. I think he might actually be out of anything else to call in. So he's just bringing in Flak Feelings and Flak 43 to take that last flag. But he just cannot do it. King Tiger is once again used as a CQC tool. The Festungsgrenadier do not have any AT, so they can't do anything. Festungsgrenadier coming in. Do we see the Panzerschreck snipe? Or let it be? Please, please, please. Unloading time. Don't die, Japaasa. Ooh. And it bounces! I've never seen a Panzerschreck bounce. Wow. I think it's the first time I've seen it. I've seen a miss, which happens rarely. But bounce, I think that is the first time. And Liszek surrenders. Wow. That is... First and last is the fact that there have been more King Tigers in the game than like 95% of 10v10 is hilarious. What a game. Oh, this was a true Christmas present that we got by these two amazing players here. That was one hell of a show, and I was so glad I was watching this. Holy moly. Oh, that is peak cinema. And as we said, Liszek in the end outrated Japaasa. I think Japaasa really outrated Liszek at some point earlier on, but then I don't know when it switched, but at some point all of a sudden Liszek was there standing, like, coming out ahead, but he just had all the units up north and he couldn't do anything down south, which is where he really needed those units at the end of the day. I mean, the King Tigers really didn't do all that much in the north. It was mostly the AT planes. That was the one King Tiger battle where the King Tigers actually killed Japaasa's King Tiger. Other than that, I think it was all non-King Tigers that did it. Most of the planes. So and the artillery, so there was that. So they did a game with more King Tigers than all 1v1 tournament games combined. I think that could actually be true. I mean, for this year, 100%. I casted one game. I think that was League, maybe. I think it was it Bori versus Protoss where we had a King Tiger matchup? I think it was. I don't even know why I remember that. And then I brought out a King Tiger versus Curb, but that was more me memeing around than actually playing serious. And I don't remember any more instances of King Tiger. You know, there was one King Tiger versus IS2 action as well. So this year, I remember four King Tigers over 3 games with King Tigers. This is one game with 7 King Tigers. So there's that. At least that I know of. Of course, there's might be games that I've not casted that have had King Tigers, but I don't think it's that many, because not many King Tiger divisions are usually played. Wow. That was nuts. That was absolutely nuts. And I mean, you know, you look at that and think, okay, that looks reasonable. But if you look at the kill list, because there are a lot of cheap units, that's going to be insanely long. Chronologies. Yeah, Japaasa having a good lead, then it's kind of back and forth a little bit. Liszek getting a little bit ahead over here. Actually quite a bit. Then Japaasa got his time to shine. And then it becomes more Liszek dominated again, where Liszek really outtraded Japaasa here. And it just wasn't really. Look at how much I have to scroll for this. Jeez. Other than that, we do have the support weapon from Japaasa doing quite well. There's no real surprise there. There's really no equivalent to this on Luftwaffe side, and something like 9290 is so annoying for 60th Luftwaffe to deal with, because the 1500 meter range is not something that you can reasonably contest, unless you want to bring a 2K tool, which may be a little bit overkill. It's also quite pricey, of course, so you can't always bring it. Look at this thing go. Look at how much that killed. Wow, that really paid off. The DA219, not so much. This Focke also paid off just by killing that bomber. Other than that, we have some infantry. The 105 as direct fire actually paid off quite well too. Stuggebüggers did some work. The B2 leader. Oh, that was what killed the Flak-Zwilling. And the Flak 43. And the Flak Zwilling. And another Flak 43. But those don't really count. Those were just there in the end to craft things. Them all of your past King Tigers only killed 1 unit. The Luftwaffe. Oh, I haven't even noticed. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I killed the Luftwaffe. You're right. And I think that's about it. I don't think any other King Tiger did anything yet. No. I mean, so I was too busy during the game because I wanted to actually say this. This game was, in my opinion, one of the best examples of what you should do when there's a King Tiger and what you shouldn't do when there's a King Tiger, and also when you should bring it, when you shouldn't. I get the concept for Liszek. He wanted to really seal the deal over there, make sure that there's no pushing back into that part of the map. And I kind of get Japaasa's response, because Japaasa knew his King Tiger was better, so he had a better chance of actually, getting the map back with that King Tiger. After that point, Liszek poured a lot of resources into killing those King Tigers, which were doing absolutely nothing. They were just sitting there, which is what King Tigers very often do, not pressuring much. And Liszek could have just pushed more in this, pressured more in the south, and I think that would have actually given him a win in this game if he'd done that, which he didn't. So this is why I say I think this is a very good example of this, and you could see it. There were 3 King Tigers sitting in the north quite uselessly. While he was losing the game because of the southern part and the center. So there's that. But yeah, on the other side, Panzerjägerband, Flak Panzerband did some work, no real surprise. Okay, the Firefly did way more than I would have expected. So I take that statement back. I think it was very useful. It really paid off. Now, could you have used a Stück instead of this? Yes. But it paid off, so there's that. 122 actually did quite good work as well. Well, that's what killed the 88, yeah. Did it 1-2. And then the next thing we have is a Stück, Park 40. The Flak-Zwilling, oh, it killed 3 planes. I missed that entirely. But this thing is no joke. I mean, this thing kills, and very quickly so. Artillery, of course, killing the King Tiger. And plane that did okay. The Luftwaffe penny. Oh, yeah, the cluster plane. That's kind of inflated because of all of these cheap tanks, but there was a B2 in there. There was the SD2 and the Stück. So can't really complain about that. This one killed the SD1. Knispel, at least Knispel got a kill. I mean, that is something. The other one got the Japaasa's King Tiger, and yeah, that's about it in terms of big kills. So interesting game. I mean, I think half of I think the whole trade difference can really be summed up by the word King Tiger. I think Japaasa's loss of 2. Yeah, you lost 2. King Tiger is about half of that trade difference already. So it's and again, Liszek kind of paid. Liszek had for the actual remaining difference was, I think, Liszek's King Tiger, which again weren't actually doing much. So that that was the other part of that. But yeah, that was game 1. Let me see what they wrote in the Discord. I think they're gonna go do another one. No, really silly game. Yes, I would agree. Next map is Liszek East. Ooh, juicy. Let's pull up those. Let's pull up those battle groups again. Let's see what they can realistically pick. I think this is probably something that Japaasa may have picked. Although I think I think I have an idea what both players would pick over there. So let me pull up. So that's Liszek, and then I need Japaasa. Oh, actually, I may be wrong. Maybe I don't know. And here we go. So this is Liszek. For Liszek East, I think realistically, this is a map where 6 South African is not that bad, actually, in my opinion. So I think we might be seeing it over there. He could, other than that, he could basically pick 122nd. Hado is not really a good idea over there, so I think these are the 2 options he realistically has. He could try it with Castle, but it's very risky since you don't have 2k. Other than the 88, which you don't really want to use for that. So he could also take Blindata theoretically, and then just use the Droshitsa, but as again very risky, especially if you Panzer counters with 16th, which your Panzer still has. Now your Panzer's option I think are a little bit better. He could just pick 5th Panzer, which might actually work considering what Liszek has left to use. That may work or may not work. He could use 16th Luftwaffe himself, which I think could struggle against Liszek's divisions in the town and such, but he might just be able to outspam him because 6th South African doesn't have a lot of light armor. It has some, but it doesn't have a whole lot of it, so it could potentially get overwhelmed because light armor could easily stop that. I don't actually know who picked first last time. I have a feeling that Liszek may have picked first last time because I just cannot imagine Japaasa picking Tetao first, but I don't actually know. But yeah, so my big bet, so we're gonna work our way up, would be this one. I think this would be one of the best picks for this map here. He could also, I mean, this is kind of the same option. Toulon is not really a good idea. There's no reason to pick it now. I think you should only use good divisions at this point. But I think Walter is probably the best pick here. Curb says, considering there's a maximum of 4 games left, he might as well pick Kage or KGB. Yeah, I mean, this would also be an option, yes. I think Walter is probably better. But Kage is also a decent choice. But yeah, but I think it's going to be either of those. I think this could also be a pick if Japaasa really wants to save up on his good divisions. And then he can go win in the last games with these 3 and try to get good maps for those. But it's always a bit risky, of course. Because, yeah, I mean, these are the 2 realistic options that I can see on Liszek's side. Now, Liszek is very good with 6 South Africa, so that could be interesting to watch. I don't think I've ever seen Toulon in a cast before. Yeah, it's quite bad. So it's likely not going to be something that you will see in a cast anytime soon. But who knows? Who knows? Let's see if we get any more news. Not yet. Not yet. Also, I think what was Curb saying somewhere earlier? Where do you mean, Curb? He said, "Here's the weird voice line." If you're curious. The 20-point support half-track inverter are pretty good. 10% chance to pen a Panther at max range. Oh, you mean the... I know which one you mean. But that thing is actually quite bad. To deal with armor. It's phenomenal against infantry. I have tried this a lot in Dunkerque, where you also have it. I think you're talking about this one. Because the problem is the accuracy is super low. And you don't really want to vet it. Also, the accuracy, I think, is not going to increase that much. Yeah, it's 3%. That's really nothing. But yeah, the bad accuracy is what really makes this a bad thing. I actually so I tried to use this against Western allies a couple of times to kind of use it as a cheap Sherman killer, because they can match the Sherman's armor quite nicely. And you having, they're cheap, so you can send 4 of them versus 1 Sherman, and theoretically, if you lose all of them, you still trade it evenly, and you probably get enough pens since they also fire quite fast. But the problem is then you've used half of those already, and they die very easily. And it just, because of the accuracy, it just doesn't really end up working out that well. It actually worked a little bit when I combined it with heavier tanks, because then the Shermans shoot at, a Panther or a Tiger in Großdeutschland, which is just take up the shots. But it really only worked in one game where there was a massive armor spam, and there was also Sherman 76s and whatnot, because otherwise your opponent is not going to throw, and M10s and all these kind of things, because otherwise your opponent is not going to throw Shermans versus a Tiger. It's just not. So unfortunately, it doesn't really work out that well. But every now and then they can pick up an armor kill, or at least a pen, and that can make a difference. So it is nice. Like, I'm not complaining about it having heat. It's a nice thing to have. It's just not going to be all that massive for the most part. So I would see them rather as a tool that has the chance to get a lucky pen, but it is nice when it happens. No question. Just not the main thing that's going to happen usually. Any news? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be Walter, so which we've already opened, versus 6 South African, both on Maverick income. So we can already take a quick look on this division. And I mean, its main thing is it has heavy tanks, and then you don't have a lot of medium tanks, but you do have quite a bit of light armor. Not necessarily here, because you have basically this. But then if you look in here, you have regular half tracks. We have this thing which can come in with a drilling. With another leader which I think can come in with something else. No, was mistaken then. But you have other things that also can come in with the drilling. I just didn't bring it with them, I guess. Can those come in with something special? I remember there's other units that can take something special. I just can't find them by the looks of it. But anyway, so you have, with all these things, you can combine a lot of light armor, actually. Maybe this one? No. Pretty sure there was something, but okay. Anyway, you have quite a bit of light armor, then you have the heavies for long range, you have the Panzer IV, which is quite nice in general, of course. And the whole mix is just infantry doing the heavy lifting, supported by a little bit of light armor, and then at range you just dominate, and you have a very good artillery tab, and a decent air tab to support it, with some of the Focke-Wulfs with a very heavy bomb loadout. They're actually quite fast considering their bomb loadout, medium resilience, so they can actually get out too. So that is actually fairly nice. The rest is meh, but the rocket plane is maybe the most useful here, and I don't really like those, but that it may just be me. But the artillery tab is fantastic. You get the big 155s, you get the Wolfraben. You get the Nebel 210. Really nothing bad at all over there. Well, that it's regular agency and tracks that should be able to, so non-fortunate. Yep, there we go. You're right. Now, this is a division where I cannot use the excuse that I was bad when I built this. I just really don't build that division well. But I generally treat it more as an infantry division with a little bit of light armor attached to it, which is probably not the right way of playing this, if we're going to be honest here. Oh no, this one can't, but the machine gun can. Yeah, this is it. So this, I think, has some quite nice features too. Of course, if the Bavarians Arnhem, which I actually really like, you have 10 straight pull rifles, which is quite nice. And then if you're machine gun, this is a good one. And the ZP30 is not bad. And you will get all of this for 20 points, and you get an AT grenade on top of it. Yes, this is hardened, but for 20 points, 2 machine guns, straight pull rifles, and an AT grenade, even if it's hardened, is really not that bad, actually. And then you get Fallschirm reactor on top of it. You get this thing, which I really like. You get 18 man with this thing, which is not that good, but it doesn't matter because it has the radar trade, it has a Panzerfaust, it has all the things you want to have for 20 points only. This thing is super annoying because, again, it can kill tanks, it can find a little bit at range, and it can, with the radar trade, be quite fast and grab some flags too, which makes it incredibly annoying. So that's a really nice thing to have. Whereas the Vickers should have the same stats as the MG34. I think it's... You don't have to... I don't know the stats by heart. Curb knows his way better than I. He's the... Well, actually, guy of Steel Division at the moment. So maybe he can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's better than the MG34. I think. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, and I mean, for this map specifically, this is actually quite a potent mix, especially if you pass this playstyle that is a little bit slower in channel. It's this defensively, this division is quite good. And yeah, you still have offensive power. One of the limiting factors here, which I think can be an issue on the 2K areas, in the 2K areas, is going to be the LG42, because this is the only only 2K AT you get, and you only get 3. You have to take in A, so there's no delaying it. And if that is dead, then at 2K, you don't really have much pushing power anymore. At the same time, this is still there. Is it worth it against Western allies? Kind of yes and kind of no, because the extra armor really does make a difference. At the same time, the extra price that you lose if it gets killed, risky. But it has, it has a lot of nice tools against Western allies. In Germany, the Yak Panzer IV, most notably, is very tricky for Western allies to deal with. On top of that, the Pak 38 is actually quite good against Western allies too. The Pak 36R is also a phenomenal tool against Western allies because it really pens things super easily, even at max range, which is 1500, very reliably. Because this thing can still bounce on the Sherman a few times. This thing usually will pen, and it's still fairly cheap. So it's just those two are Sherman killers easily. He also has, his AA is not too bad with this division against the division that has Western Allied Air Force, although 6th South African is not as scary as some other Western Allied divisions, so there's that. But still, a lot of quite fun, quite nice tools to play with here. And let's move on to 6th South African. This is also such a cool division. I really like this. Sometimes... someone asked, does the tank trade really get any use outside of the Kangaroo rifles? Because there's not really sometimes tankers. Yeah, it's so rare that it actually is used. Really, I think we see it sometimes. I think we see it. I think we see it sometimes on the what's it called? We might sometimes see it in action when you do combined arms pushes. In theory, in practice, the effect is usually not noticed, because when you at the point where you just push your infantry and tanks forward over the open, it's not gonna matter anymore. Let's be real. So, and it's very rare because there's not that many units that really have it. So, First semester didn't think so hardly any news gets it to stop. Yeah, that's what it is. Again, I've seen like there's some cases where it might apply if you push your infantry and your armor forward together, but there's so few infantries that have it, so I'm not really sure when it would really apply actually. Kerb says the Vickers and the BA is in Bern's Arnhem is nearly the same as the Browning M1919. The British version is better, but not as good as the MG44. Oh, I thought the Vickers was actually decent, but maybe I'm wrong then. I thought. Hold on. You sent me a machine gun tier list at some point. I was pretty sure that the Vickers is actually surprisingly high there. But I might be wrong then. No, just searching the chat real quick now. It doesn't matter. It's quite a while back. I don't find it that quickly. But anyway, I really thought it was better. I had it in my head for some reason that the Vickers is actually quite decent, but I might be wrong then. But not as good as the MG34. Okay. Whenever I comment on stats, I don't mean to be obnoxious or like that. No. I don't take it like that. It's just, you know that person. I don't actually, okay, it sounded negative. I know what you mean, but I don't mean it as criticism. But there's always this guy, whatever you do, there's always one person like, actually, and it can be annoying at times. That doesn't mean that I actually find it a bad thing. So just to be very clear about that. So I'm really sorry if I offended you with that. Oh, I got it. It's better than okay. It is below the MG34. I didn't know how much better or worse it was than the 1996 though. I need to look in the stats again. I don't actually know. But yeah, to be honest, more often than not, I don't go by the stats. Unless like here where you actually see pen and armor. Very often I don't go by stats, but just kind of how units feel when you play them. Which may be misleading at times. Because of course that doesn't happen in a vacuum, right? There's always context around that too. But you know, maybe it makes Kerb the good player he is, the fact that he knows those things. And I don't. So there's that. But anyway, so the most notable thing about this, of course, is you have some explosive start armor. And after that, you don't really have that much light armor left. You do have some half tracks, so you have some motorized rifles, but you have a lot of crappy starting units if you want to take them. Mostly motorized rifles, and CVS you have to rely on rifles. Those or the South African ones, but there's no difference between those. So there's that. And then cool thing about this though is you get, first of all, Sherman with good availability for the Firefly. It has lower armor, but against the Panthers, I would argue that this is probably better because you get more vet means more hits, faster rate of fire, and it's cheaper. And very importantly, you get Sherman 2As, which are Sherman 76 and one of the best medium tanks in the game. Now, the problem of this is it's very expensive because it can do kind of everything, which means it has to be expensive, right? But in terms of pure like stats, it is the best one that you can get. The only exception is the one with 100mm of armor there. Blind, I guess. And then you have this thing, which actually can be quite deadly in the town, like Rouse. Oh, and you have Stack IA, which is quite good at pinning things as well. But once again, they have started deploying, so we should join up on there. Of course, the rest is also there. 17-pounders, some good artillery. There is the 94mm, but the accuracy is quite low in that, and the ammo count too. And the pen is good though, so that could definitely be seeing some use in this game. The weakness of this is quite stationary, which against a good artillery division like Walter, this is easily a problem. And I think they have not. Oh no, this one. This is just Liszek's name that I didn't recognize. We had an interesting discussion in chat. Just quickly want to check that out. Let's catch up here. Oh no, we're still waiting here anyway, so doesn't really make a difference at all. What is the worst MG? Probably the Madsen or the Shosha, right? Let's say the MG08 says curve. Yeah, Grim Guy agrees. Shosha at least is an auto rifle. Which one is that? Is that the French? It has to be the French one. I'm pronouncing it in the French, or at least I try to. The Matson can at least fire in CQC. Or the French prefer to be R2 the Shosha because it jammed. Although that's unfortunate. Get Strix or Yak Panzer 4, the Sherman 76 should be good. It is. But only against Strix. And the Yak Panzer 4, they can at least deal with it, which is good, but it can still be problematic at times. But they can trade up. And if you see it up close in the towns, I would agree, yeah. Definitely. Stack card for the MG8 doesn't look too bad, feels terrible in game though. So it makes sense. Shame as I thought the buff to availability for the cam infantry meant they were worth taking over other units now. Yeah, I mean, the stat card is not true anyway, so this one you should ignore when it comes to machine guns. And the experience in game, unfortunately, there's an Excel. If you're on my Discord, there's a link to it. If you are in one of the other big Discords, in one of the big Discords, mine is not big, FOB or SDL or Bootcamp, there should be someone be able to sending you the link if you ask for it. Because that one shows you the actual stat, because the way it works is a little bit confusing. They don't actually shoot the way the stack card make it look. They have bursts, and then you have a reload time between bursts, shots per burst, all these kind of things matter, fire rate like within one burst, and all of this added up together then makes the real stats of how they perform. And then of course the damage, accuracy, all these kind of things add in there too, because there is suppression from damage as well. And it just gets complicated very quickly. But who's that? Is it Luffy-chan who did that? I think it is him probably. That also he makes some other. You can collect some other stats. This is probably his. I think this is Excel too. He put this all together in Excel, and you can actually compare the units and the weapons quite nicely. So that's really cool. But yeah, you have to use that one. The stat cards in the game is not really useful. Generally speaking, I would say your experience in the game should, be good enough. But then again, there's always the people, and I was one of those too who were surprised that the BS whatever, the machine gun in the British tanks actually is the best one for infantry support. Among the tank machine guns, it's better than the MG34, which is quite surprising. You wouldn't have expected that, especially if you looked at the stat card. So there's that, and no one noticed it. So then that kind of brings up the question: how is the difference just not noticeable enough, or is it just the circumstances that you don't notice? Because I think most people didn't really notice that, and neither did I. So this is where your experience may not always be telling you the truth. But at the same time, I would argue from having played so far and hearing from Curb. After the 50 cal, it's the best. Yeah, the 50 cal is the best. No question there. But yeah, after hearing some stats from Curb, it very often the stat card is misleading, but your experience with the unit sort of falls into the same range. Most of the time, not always. But most of the time. But then again, if you have something like a disappointing machine gun, you look at something like straight pull rifles, which I always heard they were better. Then you look at the stat card and then don't look all that much better. And then you go to look into the actual stats and in the Excel, and then you see that it really makes a difference. Like that, the extra rate of fire that you get from a straight pull rifle really changes things quite significantly. Green Guy says 50 cals on vehicles are really good. 50 cals on tripods are kind of trash. Not really been my experience so far, by the way. Herb says 50 cals on tripods are great, the best MG team in the game, except maybe Airshot. I 100% agree with that. I have not found them disappointing whatsoever. They are amazing for suppression. They never seem to do much damage, though. Obviously, suppression more, but yep, this is it. They don't. I've not felt like they kill super fast, but pinning is what wins you the game usually, in most cases. So it does the one thing that you really wanted to do very well. Yeah, maybe we're not lagging behind, so we can just wait here. I've had 50 cal. Try and put on a. I'm firing a Pentagon heavy cover and only killing 2 guys. Yeah, that is unfortunate. Anyway, let's look at the deployment here for a brief moment while we still have time. So Liszek is going heavily forward the town, which makes sense. He wants to take this, cut Japaasa off of this. He brings the M10 Gross. I still don't know how you pronounce it. Gross. Over here, they're certainly Gross. I don't think you pronounce them like that. Grouse probably, right? You put them like somewhere over here. They can provide their own radio, and then you just let them shoot because you can use them as artillery. Super good. Maybe it's just the best machine gun is the one my opponent is using. It always feels like that, doesn't it? But yeah, we have some infantry coming in. A few more terrorist rifles. 6-pounder also coming in a half track with a 30 cal half track. This was quite useful because Japaasa will be relying a lot on infantry as well. So even just a 30 cal half track is actually already useful. There's Vickers MG coming over here as well somewhere. An early 2K Sherman for the open, which if Japaasa doesn't bring Panther, which I don't expect him to, it's actually quite good. Like hose, okay, grows. Good. I didn't. House, sorry. House, grouse. Yeah, grouse. Okay, grouse house. Makes sense. I mean, there you clearly notice that English is not my first language. If I've not seen a word like this, then I have no idea how to pronounce it. I don't even know what does it mean. Anyone knows? I have no clue. Down south we have a very defensive deployment with just a Vickers HMG and the rifle spear. I have to assume that the rifle spear just goes in here somewhere to make sure that no armor can drive through. I don't imagine Liszek would try to push this with it because it's just way too slow for this. Pack 38 and Bevelings Arnheim on Japaasa side for some defense. Also some defensive deployment here. He does bring a Stück, which is all he needs unless there's a 17-pounder coming in here because that can kill the Sherman 1B. Or at least force it back. I suspect it's Dutch for something. Most likely it is. Oh, and then the AR recon plane, of course. Really nice to see that. Shrimpire moving in. 38. Some snipers. MG42 coming in with the Drillinge. Japaasa also having a nice force over here with some Bevelings Arnheim. The 9D, which is the 175 mil gun. And then Leader and the MP44 Leader also coming in with the Drillinge. So Japaasa trying to leverage his light armor over here by the looks of it. Uses some Greyhounds, but only 2 of those. So Liszek actually holding back quite nice. I mean, he knows that Japaasa has some good AT tools. One of which might actually snipe that Greyhound. Doesn't see it yet. The Greyhound moves into cover, stops shooting. Thought it's French, not Dutch. This division has is a South African one. And Commonwealth and South African. Sorry, British and South African. I think South Africa was at that time in the Commonwealth. And South Africa has a language called Afrikaans, which is I think heavily influenced by Dutch. I think it's originating from Dutch. I don't know what is mixed in there. It's not purely Dutch, I think. Might be wrong though, maybe it is. Or maybe just kind of the Dutch that used to be spoken at the time. Which is not the Dutch that we have today. Witch Doctor comes in helpfully because he's a South African in here. It's named after a bird. I'm South African and they would not be able to pronounce the G. Oh, so how do you... And you will not be able to pronounce the G. Okay. I still don't get how you pronounce it then, but I think I'm just going to give up on that, and you just have to forgive me for not pronouncing it correctly. It's kind of hard to describe how you pronounce something via text, isn't it? So, but I guess you don't really say the chi. I don't really get what to make out of this now, to be honest. Oh, yeah, Rocket Fog Wolves coming in for the Vickers, because that would flip this flag since this is just recon. 17-pounder coming in. One of the notable features of this division, of course, that is all your infantry transport are super slow, but then you have this thing coming in. It sounds like you're clearing your throat. Oh boy, okay. Oh yeah, I get it. Is it more like something like, yeah, I know, I wanna know those Dutch sounds. So like something like that. Because we have that in Swiss German as well. Especially where I'm come from. We pronounce this quite distinctively, which gives our dialect a quite bad reputation. Which I understand, but so they say graus, groes, something like that, along those lines. Grouse? No. How do you say it? Jeez. Anyway, the M10s have shot some volleys and are now on the move. Trying to do it again. So it's like, ooh, groes. Or did what did I say in a second? I forgot. Is it that one? I'm very excited. I need to look it up afterwards. If I can, I want to pronounce things correctly, but I'm really bad at languages, generally speaking. Really, really horrible. Oh, yes, I got it. Nice. So Japaasa got this flag. He even got this one, but he's about to get forced out of that one again, I feel like. The SKZ at 251 is sitting in there nicely, but 6 pound is coming in and might actually be able to find a sneaky angle. You have to remember, I always forget this, but you can. See these gaps here? You can shoot through those. That is an actual line of sight. Something to remember whenever you position units over there. Spitfire coming in, this is a really good one. With 2 sets of bombs. Japaasa has no AA yet. Yes, the drilling it. No. Yeah, there is one. Let's see how good it is, actually. I've not seen it in action since it was kind of buffed, fixed, whatever you want. Yeah, it actually was enough to force it off, so that works now. Attack beacon is placed. The Roos is moving over to go after it. But Liszek pushing with the 2k power that he has here, and the Japaasa can't really do much to him. He has an LG42 here, but that is quickly forced off by the Sherman 1B. I think it's actually going to get killed off by the Sherman 1B. A Greyhound now on the move as well. And I don't think that Shrimp Pie is going to live super long. Pack 40 coming, but the Pack 40 has one big issue. It's not a 2k tool. Pack 38 spotted the white scout car. So, using the APCR, you pass a notice and turn it off though. Motorized rifles now pushing in. This thing has MP44s and a Molotov though. And a Panzerfaust, which it just used. But now it's got spotted by the Vickers. And I think it might die here. Unless you can throw the other Molotov against a motorized rifle. It needs to hop in and does do something. Does Kagame get 1 or 2 cards of LG42? He gets only 1. So losing it would be absolutely devastating. Because he needs that to clear out those 17 pounders and the 94 mils. If those die, that's going to be the end of it. This is why I don't like... This is the main reason why I don't look at Kagame and say, oh, this is a 2k division. Because just having 1 to me, it makes the division too weak to something like a 17 pound. This is why I look at it more of like, I look at it more as the way I see it is an infantry division, and it has some heavy tanks basically. So in my eyes, it should be fighting over this. The problem is it's more of a defensive division. If you look at it as an infantry division, because it doesn't have enough medium and light armor, it has good light armor. And quite a bit of it, but it's kind of not enough at the same time. So pushing this is not that easy, actually. But I can tell you, having played against it when it was on this side of the map, it is very hard to push past it. Because in defensive position, that infantry, especially the Bavarians Arnhem, which are super cheap for what they can do, and the light armor can be really tough. Buckwolf going after the 6 pound. He might actually be able to snipe the both if you want to go for it, but looks like the recon plane is being forced off anyway. Because the one weakness of this transport is you know exactly, like you see it and you know it's going to be an expensive unit. Nothing that is not expensive can be brought in this transport. So if I see this transport and can snipe it, I will 100% snipe it. Third land for Japaasa still. But it's really this push that is killing him at the moment. Sherman 1B actually got penned by something. Oh, the Pack 40 probably. 17 pounder though taking revenge by taking out the 1B, but the LG42 is trying revenge in turn. Sherman 1B is moving up. Pack 40 is moving back in. Ooh. It's going to be spicy. M10s are on the move. The Groes trying to go after the Pack 40 and this channel blob in here, presumably. Ooh, 1B cannot save the 17 pounder and might not even be able to save himself. It's not even able to kill the LG42. So Japaasa gets away with it. Convert the cannons, retake the flag back to 12-12. Which is my precious South African diff. Always disappoints. I would love it to be good with this diff, like hearing my own language in game. Very fair, but yeah, it's just in a rough spot. But it's a really good integrity. Oh, that's nice to know, Grim guy. Not a 17 pounder coming in. Not a Sherman 1B coming in. And the crews have arrived too, going after the Pack 38, which cannot shoot at them. Oh, look at that. The Pack 40 has been pinned successfully by the Vickers, I assume. Panda Chi now coming in, so that 17 pounder is going to be needed, after all. Practice make purpose. That is definitely true. You kind of the prime example here as well, Curb. You practice a ton, especially with good players in using the LFG, and it shows. Stagant here working on the Shrompio, which is out of smoke, but the Panda Chi is ready to retaliate and put an end to this. Not yet. The Stagant gets the kill, and that's all that's needed, because now the Japaasa is going to get the flag. He just needs to get these to safety as well. 1B is now on the run. 17 pounder meanwhile pushing back in. 81 mil mortar has come in and is working on the Vickers, which have successfully killed off the Pack 40 by the looks of it. Scouts are running down the AT gun. Which one? What did I miss? Up here maybe? Something? Because I've seen the Kundungs pushing. Maybe those. Oh, the natal scouts. Oh, true. Yeah, you're right. Veterans Arnhem have something to say about that, but I don't think they're going to last super long. Not LG40 up here. It might actually die in this. Oh, it was the target. It did die. So there's one LG42 left. If that is gone, the Japaasa will really have a very tough time fighting the open here. I think Japaasa needs to go for the center. I don't see him winning the open anymore at this point. Just by the loss of his two LG42s, he really cannot afford losing those. Because again, he doesn't have another answer to 17 pounders. Like, yeah, the 17 pounder will not pin a Panda Chi right away, or any Panther for that matter. But it will do it fast enough. It will kill it fast enough that the Panther cannot win a fight against a 17 pounder. It will not. Or at least not in 9 out of 10 cases. Maybe it happens sometimes, but the 17 pounder will eventually penny. I mean, okay, to be fair, artillery is still one thing that Japaasa has going for him. But the problem is, it doesn't have a ton of it early on of the real good. I mean, he has a super heavy one, but that is not great. Maybe, do you have? I think it would actually be worth it in this division. If you have the LAFH, I think you should actually use that as 2K. And that would help it tremendously. Japaasa did that in game 1 with 10,000. Might be doing it again. And the 80 tab is cheap. I've never actually thought about this even. But now, now that this has kind of become a thing since it's so cheap, maybe this would actually be a solution to this problem. That would actually be quite interesting. So let's see. Maybe B-Face might hold some surprises for us. Strictly working on the Vickers. Pack 38 trying its luck against the Sherman Recce, which is not really working very well. And the Groes is just busy bullying some Bewerungs Arnhem. In the town, Japaasa not really making any pressure, but neither any progress, but neither is Liszek. Mobilwagen now coming in, so at least air spamming should be more difficult over there. Spitfire coming in after the Arnhem. I will get a kill. Since there's no A over here, you could do the double bomb trick, but Liszek doesn't bother by the likes of it. It's certainly going to get a kill, which it does. MG42 coming in now to secure this off as well. But, oh, this was important to keep this flag. Now I get it. Now I see it. 81 mil going after this blob over here, but nothing in there. At least not anymore. Then MG42 is that, and the last one is Colin. The Nebels will have to do something. Heavy lifting. Yes, 100%. Oh, I didn't know that was German mix in there, Witch Doctor. That's interesting. Okay. I knew he came from Dutch, but I didn't know there was also some German mix in there. Nice push with motorized rifles and half-tracks coming now, and Japaasa doesn't really have a good answer to this. So Liszek should be able to pressure this quite nicely. He might even be able to extend this into here. Although the 9D might be a good answer since there's no armor here whatsoever that can actually stop this. So maybe it's not actually developing that well. But if you pass it, if Liszek can move into here with something with his half-track, he might actually get a mortar kill too. He could just load one of these up and just sit down here. That would be quite fun. Afghan's one of our 11 official languages and extra info. Our national anthem is sung in 5 languages. Wow. How many do you actually speak, Witch Doctor? Do you kind of get by with 1, or do you guys speak like 2, 3, maybe even 4 of them? LG42? Or is it kind of like we have it here in Switzerland and also in Belgium, where it's kind of separated with the region and perfectly fine not really speaking the other one? It seems like Japaasa is done for already. I kind of feel so as well. He's bringing the Wolfram, though. I think that could maybe open up the town. I'd argue if Japaasa can ever take the town and lock it down, because this division is good at defending, then maybe it's looking good. The strengths that Liszek still has, though, is he has the priests. And this generally, so his mobile artillery should be hard for Japaasa to get past those. And they can just keep shelling Japaasa until Liszek can move back in. English for everyone and 1 other as a second language. Okay, so it's actually the same as we have here then. But still, congrats for speaking 3 of those, at least. That's actually quite good. Curb says he still has a chance if he can leverage his Panther well. Yeah, he needs to be able to work through the 17-pounder somehow, and then all of this is very much threatened by that 1 Panther again, actually. Well, no, now there's a Hurricane coming. There's no AA covering this yet. So that Panther might be gone, maybe gone. And the LG42 is going to get targeted by the Spitfire. That's goodbye. Yeah, the drilling is not really doing the trick there. Is this is not ideal? Yeah, this is not. Oh no, it's actually a good one. Never mind. The problem is just this, how slow it is. There is quite some spread, yet still it gets the kill there on that Panther. I think might be it. I just don't. Flak Feeling is coming in way too late. And we do see the 105. So Japaasa's doing it again. I think you might actually have to do it. You can now do that, actually. So that's really nice. Don't see the Panther doing much against 70-pounder Firefly. Yeah, same here. Witch Doctor is rooting for Liszek. He wants to see. Oh, I forgot to do a poll, but now it's a little bit too late since we're quite a bit into the game already. But yeah, as I said, oh, look at that. Wolfram Strike has been going through. Japaasa is on the push, and most importantly, the armor is dead. So it's going to be quite hard for Liszek to actually stop this push now. Japaasa, again, if Japaasa can take this, I see very good chances for Japaasa for at least remaining in the game for a bit. Mobile Block might be able to force off, but I think it's a little bit too close to the edge of the forest. So Spitfire is probably still going to get the bombs off. The 88mm could turn things around according to Curb. I actually don't really believe that. 88s are not that good. There we go. Huge strike there. 1 Shrimpai and 1 MP44 killed. They just died too easily to the Sherman 1Bs. Oh, now we have the Sherman 2As coming in the 76s. That's amazing. I just see those, but we don't have any heavy tanks. So still think... Oh. Nice catch there by Japaasa. Liszek has noticed, but he's falling back rather than moving aside. So the 88 is going to get another shot off. And is it going to get a pen? It does not. It misses, actually. Stuka now coming in, but that, of course, needs to be very careful because the Sherman 2A can at least pen that. But Japaasa got a flag, and he continues to move on. There's no Piats in here. There are motorized rifles coming, though. And the majority of Japaasa's armor or units here are not really following up. He's spamming in more infantry, though. Following me, I got MG34. Not bad. The DF-80, which is quite crucial here against all those half-tracks. The 88 is immediately focused down by the Groes. So That was to be expected. Is that... Oh, the Recce. Yeah, that one is providing radio coverage, which is actually good for Japaasa because he just moved out of the killing zone. The 88 is stressed out though, and the Sherman 1B has spotted it too, so it's not going to have much time to kill that, and it will struggle landing a shot because of the suppression. So being stressed out, not really helpful here. He can't move back because of the artillery. He has to move sideways, which means he's still in line of sight of the 1B, and the 1B is going to take some good hits. Spitfire doing another bombing here, making sure that this flag will not flip at any given point. Oh, but the crews were focused by the Wolfram, which unfortunately misses just barely as they are about to move. Liszek moving them quite well, quite aggressive. Liszek is really, like, this is the division that I think Liszek really likes. I've seen him with him multiple times, and he generally does quite well with it. Like, he knows how to play this. And he knows how to come around the fact that you don't have that many light tanks, which can be problematic at this. Oh, big Focke Wolf coming in. The Bofors has not really managed to keep up. The Recce is the target over here, so that the Stück can move in and start applying pressure again. Japaasa still in the back foot. I think Japaasa can maybe, if he can really, he already lost his flag again. If he can continue to use the Wolfram well here and really get control over this and then just dig in and trade, he may have a chance. But the bad news for Japaasa is, of course, he's the one who needs then to make a move. Because Liszek doesn't need to. He can just sit there comfortably. He doesn't need more flags. Theoretically speaking, he always want the pressure, of course. But theoretically speaking, he doesn't need it. Oh, what are they spotting? Luckfilling did get some damage too. Oh, they're spotting the Fallschirmjäger. Okay. The M10 is still an M10. Engage it at your own trill. Well, it's a good tank. For sure. So, you know, direct engagement is not risk-free, of course. Priest, and the good thing about it is it's still cheaper, you know, peril. I was wondering if that is some English word that I don't know. Tan's doing a great job of just slowly pushing Japaasa out of positions. More motorized rifles coming in. Liszek intends to hold this. Still a surprising lack of action down south. Japaasa's about to change that by the looks of it. No, not really. It's just gathering units over here to get another angle on it, which is not a bad call either. And truthfully, it will be spotted if it actually tries to move for this, and like 117 pounder up here is going to stop that. So doesn't make sense to be a little bit careful there. 105 being used to go after the Bofors. Look at how big the spread is. Considering, you know, considering that it's not within radar range, it's not that bad. But that for a second it looked like it was going to hit, but it did not. Need a third game here. Good game so far. Well, we're going to get a third one anyway, because it's best of 5 since it's the finals. But the question is, are we going to see 4 or maybe even 5 games? That would be amazing, wouldn't it? Now for 210 coming in as we've reached C phase. Japaasa saved up some of that precious B phase income to immediately buy one of those. More of the M10 crews coming in though. So that's not good news for Japaasa. That's good news for Japaasa's Nebelwerfer, however. If they fire just a little bit, Japaasa will likely focus them down. If Japaasa has artillery superiority, which admittedly with the priest being also here, not really going to happen all that fast, then I can see a chance for Japaasa. If not, I don't see it. As I said, if it remains a little bit slow and grindy, I think that favors Japaasa. Oh, look at that. The 105 did go down. I think the 1B might have found like a cheeky angle on it or something like that. Ooh. Sherman 2As. What did they spot? Out of Arnhem. I think Japaasa just wanted to move something forward to spot things, and it made him probably realize just how bad things are actually looking. But I see how close we're from Nebel and RT are to the front line. Yeah, indeed. As they should. I know, Mumil. I know. I just find it way easier to do on this map where you actually have proper areas of coverage where opponent can't directly see the unit than on Slit's Quest. If that is what is saying. If you're saying it for everyone else, it is a nice note. I do agree. It's a good note in general. Just if that was aimed at my mistakes, I know. And the big wave of planes now coming in, focusing the 88. It stops the Spitfires. Might even spot the Hurricanes. Ooh, that's going to be a close one. Yeah, not all the rockets go off. And the Panzer IV/70 is still alive and not fully pinned. The 188 actually stopping planes. That is not a very common occurrence. Yeah, I was thinking of this guys. I didn't interpret it like that. But as I said, I find it very, very difficult to use them up close on Slit's Quest on the good side, just because you don't really have any coverage anywhere. And if your opponent, I'm very much afraid that if your opponent sees where they are, which he can if they're out in the open, then it's just gonna get arted. 88 of the year. Yeah, we get a lot of performance of the year in today's games by the looks of it. Now, this is certainly not doing the performance of the year. You can't see by the looks of it the Sherman 1Bs, and the 88 is just failing to pen them at the moment, which is quite sad. But they do have one 10mm armor. Oh, now the Jagdpanzer is moving. The 88 is taking quite a beating and might actually go down here. So next wave is just going to kill the Panzer IV/70. I don't think the 88 is going to survive that. I'm surprised that the Panzer doesn't call it back, because it actually survives it. Wow. And the Panzer IV/70 takes it out. There's another Sherman 1B coming in, so your Panzer might want to fall that back now. The Pak 38, if it hasn't been spotted, might be there for a good surprise. Nebel 210 kills one of the Sherman 2As. Is it happening? Is it Panzer turning it around? Wolframan's still alive. Not really sure what it is doing. It's kind of reloading. It did shoot at something. I didn't see anything. Those have fired some shots. No, they did not. No, they did. 10 each. So they fired one volley and they're now on the move. Going in down south as well. Okay. Interesting. But these are still on the radio mode. So actually, it might kill it. It's open top. So there we go. And this thing is quite accurate too. Not a Panzer IV/70 and the Stück 3 coming in. But there is a 94mm in, and this thing is very dangerous. Japaasa got this flag back though for the time being. 88 being shot at by the Sherman 1B. It is on the run though, so I think it should survive this. The RT party continues, going on after the 88 over here. Yeah, I think Japaasa is just going to take way too many expensive losses due to artillery, and there's not much he can do about it. He kind of needs to use those units right now. It's just they are prone to artillery, and this is something that South African does not lack at all. Continues to go after the 17-pounder, but it should be out of range, and it is. So no more shots irradiated. More Sherman 1Bs coming in. Oh yeah, I think you did. Do you get 2 cars? I think you do. So yeah, one in A and one in B, presumably. Wolframan has been shifted as well. For the M10s, which have not been moved this time, so I think Japaasa might actually be lucky now. They're focusing on the flak filling. The flak filling is actually walking into the killing zone, so the Wolframan really needs to perform now. Otherwise, Japaasa is going to be down 1 flak filling, and I don't think he will recover from that. Threat level still for Liszek. He got it, and he's just going to continue to keep it. Ooh, 1 lands close, 1 misses, another 1 misses, 1 hits. And another 1 misses. Yeah, it was kind of off a little bit there. Well, the flag filling is almost there already. All of the M10 and the priest are not going after it. I mean, it is reasonable. I think by now, or at least very soon, Liszek's Air Force should be operated. There it is. It is operational again and is immediately brought out. And there's 1 mobile wagon over there, but that's not going to be enough. Yeah, I don't really... Now the Firefly is also coming. That's not going to make things any easier for Japaasa. Brings another LAFH. He brings a mobile wagon down south. The 88 has died. He's using the Panzer IV/70 to kill off that Sherman. Big strike killed multiple targets. I don't really know what it killed. Another flak filling coming in. Wolframan. What? Currently needs to reload. some fighting happening here, but not really all that much. I don't really think. Or Japaasa loaded up the 210, but kind of forgot to unload it. It's just sitting there at the moment. There's no counter battery, so it doesn't hurt him, but I think it will also, unless it already finished reloading, it will just mean that it's going to take longer for it to reload. Hurricanes are forced off by the mobile wagon. Room 1B is falling back as it should. But yeah, I agree with Emil. He says Japaasa has been outtraded too much, and I think this is the case here. I just don't think Japaasa has any means of taking anything back. Again, if Japaasa was the only one with artillery still operational and Liszek playing this low, it would be a different story because Japaasa could trade his way back in, but at the moment I don't see this happening. Yeah, you're right, Emil. I absolutely agree with you on that. Sherman 1B versus Stug. Sherman got the first pen. Misses. Stug kills. Oh, he was already damaged then. That's not really going to change all that. Oh, there's a Sherman 1Bs, but there's a 5 fly coming, so it still is not going. It's not going to change all that much. And they're still the M10s, you know. Yeah, I think. Yeah, pass in a rough spot. Liszek needs to make major mistakes now if he's still like for him to lose this. Okay, we will guess that there's at least a 1,000 point rate difference. Honestly, Walter, I think it was when we first saw it, it was like, this might not be that good. All the mix of the units. And then people were saying it's actually quite decent. But I was a bit on the fence on that, and the more I see being used, the more I am not convinced about this division, to be honest. This is just another game where we see exactly why. And again, the 2K is really hurting here. 210 is going after those again, but that's way too far away. It will need to be a little bit closer to that. It would be great for the town. It would not be all that. It's not that great for the open. It is not the kind of range you want to use that at right here. But yeah, I still see this division, in my opinion, this is an infantry division. With some heavy armor, but it's not meant as 2K division, because it just doesn't have the 2K HE. And it's also not ideal against every sort of division on the infantry heavy maps, obviously. From giving up 1 rocket, killing a motorized rifles, that's something. I think that Walter is very specialized if that has. It's fantastic in the right matchup, but very mid otherwise, yeah. I actually think it is. So a lot of people were saying that it should be higher because I originally had Walter placed lower in the tier list for this tournament. And seeing it perform in not just this tournament just confirms, in my opinion, that it really should have been lower. Because I really don't think. I don't think it is above 16 Luftwaffe, for example. As stupid as it sounds, but I don't think it's above that one. It's too specialized. It has its niche uses, as you say. When he's pushing forward, but that 1 rocket strike may be clearing out this flag, so Japaasa might get a flag back, but the problem is still, Japaasa is not going to be able to push anywhere realistically. Liszek is reinforcing. And the M10s are working on it again. I mean, this would be an area that you could realistically target with the Nebel. Still not ideal from this distance, but at least, you know, those are open top. This is a soft target. Those you could maybe kill. With the Wolframen, could also do it if it moves a little bit. But I think Japaasa still has an option to kill a lot of things over here. Though Liszek is already moving the antennas again. Oh, they're all going to resupply. If Japaasa sees that, ooh, that could be very spicy. But it's even further away, so the Nebel's going to be missing even more. So actually, I might have to take that statement back. The down south, oh, I completely missed that. But it looks like the Panzer IV/70 was killed by the Firefly, and Japaasa is struggling there. Another Nebel F210 coming, but that is way too far. That's from way too far away. Yeah, it's going after this, but at this distance, the spread, you see the spread. It's like this. That is big. That is a lot. It's a bit too much. You need to be closer. It's going after the priests, which have not been moved, so I can very much understand this. Could the Wolfram also do it? It maybe could. There's maybe something with the Wolfram then, because at this distance the Wolfram still operates quite nicely. We could move him up here maybe. Then he could certainly do it. I get the concept. I know that Japaasa wants to get it done as soon as possible, but I think he needs to be a little bit more patient here. All Hurricanes are coming after the Stug. The flag filling is pinned. No AA is nearby. This Nebel failed to kill both priests. Again, the distance is too far. And I think the Hurricane are going to take that out easily. Nothing that Japaasa can do. And it's realistically just going to continue like that. Again, the fact that Liszek also has the RT to kill Japaasa's AA is the deciding factor over here. Oh, and over here, we actually do see Liszek making a push now. Versus Arnhem getting killed, rifles moving in, maybe getting a flag over here. Pack 30 might just kill the Bite Scar, but he can't reach a Sherman 1B just yet. And Pack 40 is unloaded quite far back, so it also cannot really do much. Nebelwerfer also needs to be careful not to get anywhere near that Sherman 1B. Of course, supplies coming in to resupply some 10s. Another 94 mil coming in, so it's going to be increasingly hard for Japaasa to fight over this. I think he's just really just giving up on this and focus on town, where if you get it, he has a realistic chance of actually holding it too. Stug pushing forward needs to be very, very careful not to get too close to those rifles, but then Japaasa surrenders. Yeah, he must have seen the writing on the wall. He has played for quite a while, but he was on the back foot the entire time. The trades were not actually that different. It's only 400 points, but that is quite surprising, actually, since, again, there were expensive units on the field for Liszek, and he had more units too, and yet the Air Force. Very surprising indeed. Although I guess Japaasa had the Nebels with ammo and the Wolfram, so that adds up as well. Gonna be quite expensive. Let's see. Yeah, I mean the M10's doing well, no surprise there. Sherman 6-pounder actually got quite a few kills too. A Spitfire, I mean, Western Allied air spam is always very dangerous. Those Spitfires are really good. They're quite fast, they have a very powerful bomb loadout. You could even do the double bomb trick, which we haven't seen here, but like even if you don't do it, this is super powerful. Sherman Recce actually, kill the Pack 40. Oh my. Hurricane getting quite a few kills. This thing is, the rocket ladder is not bad, but it is so slow. This thing hardly ever kills something, so it's actually amazing that we got 2 kills here. And yeah, it just continues on like that. And so look at that. Those are 4 very expensive units here. On the other side, Japaasa's Japaasa 2 planes as well. Japaasa's Focke-Wulf actually quite some good work as well. The Pack 30 did do some good kills. The Wolfram has an impressive kill list once again. These are always performing very well. Unless you aim at an empty area, which you really shouldn't. Panther got some value actually. Did not notice that. Flag filling 2, just not planes. And other than that, it's not all that impressive. Another Stug here did well, although 2 of those are recon or 50 cal half tracks. The 105, I have not noticed, I cleared 2 17-pounds. It's actually quite good. But that is about it for Japaasa. So yeah, just not the best game for him. And yeah, I mean, Liszek used that matchup really well. He played that perfectly. And I mean, the important part here, I think, is Liszek noticing or knowing that he actually has an advantage in the open and using that. And not pushing on the hill, which honestly would have probably also worked, because then he could have used his 17-pounder there to block off Japaasa, who would be struggling versus it. But he made a nice move, it worked, and then he could lock down the 2K, because he knew that he has an advantage over there. So it's quite well done here for Japaasa. So let's just see real quick. Ask real quick if they do another one. Or if that's going to be it for today. But for sure, we will have 4 games for this series in total. I'm not sure. Okay, so I just got confirmation by Liszek they will do game 3 as well. now, so I think I'm gonna remain for that one. But that will be the last for today. So if they move on, I will likely not cast it, as then I think it's gonna be a long enough of a stream for today. But I will most certainly, if they're good games, cast them. Those that we don't watch. So let's just wait for the third game. Map is going to be the first interesting thing, because then we can make some guesses on what those two players can play. Now, did I click away the divisions? I did not, which is good, because then I can show them again. Oh, I just noticed you were all without game side once again, because I need to switch the scenes here between display and Steel Division, but I've set it so that it doesn't capture, it only captures Steel Division audio if we're actually... Hold on, I can fix that, probably. Just need to remember how I can add another audio track. Maybe I'll do that later. That's something to be done off stream, not on stream, but I will get there. I will get to doing that as well. So realistically, I think long range maps are not something that either of those players really wants to play. Liszek would be down to 122nd, which can work, but is not ideal. Japaasa also doesn't really have that many options left. Too long, which you don't want to use. Actually, Japaasa has options left, just not good ones. He has okay ones and then some others. Although 5th Panzer could actually come out useful here on a 2K map, since Liszek really doesn't have all that much here that he can use on 2K. It's on 22nd and that's it. So, yeah, maybe. But I would expect to see a close range map. But of course, I assume that Japaasa wanted to avoid pure secrecy maps because of this division right here, which Japaasa has used up. Liszek is not. Russell will win secrecy engagements. Like, this is, so far, has been performing extremely well. The only recent example we've seen was Memil getting beaten by Koenig, but that was not really that big of a surprise. It kind of was, but at the same time it was not, because basically when Koenig got the air spam started, we kind of knew what what was going to happen. So that is probably just also, we have to say Memil was on the bad side, which really matters with a division like Russell. I've definitely noticed that some divisions can struggle from the bad side quite a bit. Every division will be in a worse spot on the bad side of itself, of course. But it is especially so if you need to push against a division that has something that can deny you pushes. But yeah, Russell generally very, very strong, very hard to beat. The chance of this being beaten, especially by what Japaasa has, relatively low. Kessel is the best bet that Japaasa has here. Maybe you could have outspammed it with Tetao. I would actually be interested in trying this at some point. Vrugma will just struggle to push in the open, or even stop Russell in the open. So there's that. So Japaasa really doesn't want to go to something like Cell and probably even Costa Rica. So he has to find a map where Russell cannot perform, but where he can use Kessel, Hage, or any of those. So I think mid-range maps are probably where it's at. So Harashai would be probably a good map for Japaasa. Usha East probably. But yeah, no, not bad. Because the only thing that I think Liszek has left that can perform there is Kessel. And after that, Hado can maybe do it. This is, what's it called? The Romanian one. I forgot the name. But this one can also do something there, but it's not ideal. So that is, I think, the best chance is that. Yes. We're going Slutsk East again. Okay. So I would have to assume Japaasa is now picking 16th. Because I don't think 5th Panzer has enough tools for Slutsk East. You cannot rely enough on the 2K to really win that. You need something for the town as well. And Liszek still has options that can do work in the town. I would predict 16th on the Japaasa side versus 122nd on Liszek's side, but I'm ready to get surprised. Let's put it at that. And let's move back to this division only screen. So that I don't forget, and so that you get some game audio for sure. Sorry for that again. I really need to remember to do that. It always happens that I forget it, and I really should. Let's let's wait. Then we do the poll again. This time correctly. Not gotten any division picks yet, but the update is also quite recent on the map, so let's just wait. Actually, let's do a very, very quick break so that I can get some water and quick toilet break. But I'll be back in like 5 minutes, and by then we should have the matchup, and maybe they'll already be deploying by then. So see you in just a few minutes. All right, here we are again. And no... Okay. Liszek just wrote in Discord, one shall not play good divisions in the final game. So, I guess we're going to see 122nd versus 5th Panzer. No news on the income yet. Maybe it's going to be again Maverick again, I assume. But could be balanced, honestly. So, let's take a look at the division. Oh, what did I do now? Oh, this. No. Maverick versus balanced. Interesting. To be honest, 122nd, I cannot really see on Maverick. So I would assume that Japaasa went for balance, but honestly, Japaasa balance is probably better because he can grind down the 2k tools that 122nd has. Let's start with this division. Let's start having a look at 122nd first. There we go. So this division is kind of CQC and long range. That is the whole thing. And crap beans. So you have some of the nice Finnish units with like the Light Oriunta, some Poisid, which this one is not actually that nice. I mean, for 20 points, it's kind of hard to complain, but still, this thing not having a shock really sucks. There's that. You also don't get extra availability or anything. And, you know, the Sturmkanadier now, for 20 points with the reworked MP44 and shock is okay-ish. And especially in the town area, this thing can actually be quite dangerous. So, this in the town is pretty decent nowadays. So, it's actually one thing that this division has going for it in this matchup. Other than that, it has some Stücks, including one card of Stück 4, which against 5th Panzer is not going to matter all that much, but it's still a nice difference there. But it is now quite a bit more expensive than the Stück 3 anyway. The other special thing is you have some Mardes, but most importantly, you have 2 cards of Krupp 88 mil. So this is the really good thing. This is what makes it good at 2k. You also have the Stu 42, you have IG33s, so this thing has something go for it at 2k. And you have some big RT tab with not so many good options, but you do have the 150 mil, which is decent. And you have a nice air tab with some fuck wolves with, unfortunately, small bomb loadouts, or you have this one with battle resilience with a good bomb. That's not ideal, but you have those, which are, at the end of the day, still nice, but they have the issue that all of these units with those light bomb loadouts tend to have, which is that it is relatively easily to make the bomb spread if there's just a little bit of AA, then they don't actually kill. Because usually light bombs on dive bombers are okay because they really deliver them right to the target, and they don't spread out too much. Whereas with the heavy bombers, high altitude bombers, it was usually quite bad because they spread out and they just don't do all that much. But this is not that good. But yeah, so this is basically what it has going for it. It has an interesting strafer here, but it is not, you know, it's not the end all be all here either. It's an interesting one though. Yeah, that's basically what it got. Mid-range you have the Marder still, but you know, it's not. It can't carry division. So basically, at 2k you have this. In the time you have the Sturmgrenadier, so you have some options. Not the best diff though. Is it going to be enough against 5th Panzer? It actually just might. Because that division also doesn't have much going for it. I also played that very recently in a Playing Every Division video. This is one of those divisions that I just wanted to get done. They're basically all the divisions that are coming now, and some of them I've already done, I actually really enjoy. 5th Panzer, not one of them. French Fred says, I always thought 122nd is a Finnish and artillery span division. Not really. It is really you have 2K and CQC kind of division. And that is a niche concept that works on some maps. Now with the MP44 coming in, I can, you know, it can work on some other maps a little bit better as well. But this is kind of the niche that it has. Maps with 2K and CQC. You support it with artillery, like you're going to use your artillery, but in 1v1, unless you play like the balanced grind set that some people in the queue like to do, you cannot go so arty heavy to compensate for its issues. So You really have to try to use it in other ways, in my opinion. So I don't see it as an artillery spam division. It just doesn't have enough sustain in other areas that you can realistically survive by just spamming artillery. If your opponent's gonna be pushing a little bit, you're gonna struggle. Moving on to 5th Panzer though. So this division has quite a few. So you do have this thing, which I think your Panzer will have to use. The problem is the light junta can deal with those, or just the Lati in general. I think there's also a Lati unit in the T-tab. So this thing will have a hard time against that. Same for this one. It's also not too bad. It has a little bit of HE. It's not fantastic, but it can do a little bit of support, and there's plenty of ammo left to go. Rate of fire is kind of bad. Anti-AP shell will not really be needed, so whether your Panzer really wants to take this, I doubt, but it is an option. I don't have anything special other than that in the recon tab, just some regular armor. This division is just French Fire, I think sums it up quite nicely. It's vanilla Panzer Div, as vanilla as you can do. Yeah, and this is it. Like this is about as plain standard as a German tank division can get, and really lacks some of the goodies that you need in the town. And it doesn't have enough infantry, so this is where I can see a Japaasa struggling here in the infantry, in the town area. So I think Japaasa really needs to get the good side here, because if he doesn't, or if he does and cannot push Liszek off the hill, Liszek will take that town. There's nothing Japaasa can do about it. So this could be potentially problematic. This is a tank type with nothing light. Panzer IV are the lightest thing you have. Then in support type, you don't have anything light for infantry support either. The guerrilla is about the best thing you can do, which is not horrible, but it is not ideal either. You don't have any special transport whatsoever. And this is a machine gun one. I think here you also don't have anything. Oh, actually, here you do, but it's the APCR one. So, yeah, point stands. You just have nothing. Maybe it might be even worth taking this just for the town. But yeah, also here, this division just lacks really good vision tool. I think he might want to use the Marder for anti-infantry duty here. Maybe even single bet it. So this is what I would do probably. But I think Japaasa will really struggle in town. At long range, just the sheer amount of guerrillas he has, and if he can micro them, will be a big problem, because really the only thing that Liszek can do at 2k is use the Krupp. He can't back it up with something that can deal with the 2k. He has to use those things. So if both players are microing it a little bit, or if just Japaasa's microing it, Japaasa's going to win the 2k. There's not much that Liszek can do about it. So in that sense, I think Japaasa has an angle here. The town is going to be tricky, so Japaasa needs to either not contest that too much, or just win it immediately and then move on. He has a decent off map though. He has decent artillery mortars for up close, so that is definitely something that Japaasa is going for it. Also, he has a very good strafe, which is this one. 2 actually. This one is also not too bad. And this one you can use, but I wouldn't recommend it. Just 220 mils, not that good. Honestly, if you want to fight a fast one, for Wolf can also do it. It's also not a bad strafer. So there's some options here, but Liszek has a good AA tab too, at least with the flak filling. Those are expensive though and easy to target, so that is very much a double-edged sword. Moving on, we do have... Oh no, we have both. We've had both, so that's the second one. But yeah, so we can start with the poll now, actually. Just want to see what you guys think. Who wins this? So remember, we get the same map, which is Slutsk East again. Who wins? And here we go. You can now vote. I think this is actually a relatively even matchup, to be honest. I think it really depends on who can leverage their advantages more. Ultimately, I would say Liszek's advantage might be a little bit more important, because in the open, you generally cannot get as many flags as you can get with the town. However, if your panzer gets the good side, if your panzer gets the bad side, he can. I think he can be fine with Liszek just taking the town and him just fighting over the open. So I think this is one of those cases where your panzer wants the bad side, because if your panzer gets the good side, Liszek has a lot of flags that he can actually realistically contest in the town, and I don't really know what your panzer intends to do about that. This is kind of how I would look at it. But let's see. Let's see. I think if your panzer gets the good side though, or the usually good side, I think his plan, or what he should do, is he will need to really win the hill early on. Like, he needs to get that. He needs to be able to lock it down. He can let go of the open, because your panzer should be guaranteed to be able to retake the open eventually. So I think this would be the move for him. And Liszek needs to do the same thing. He needs to win that town. Because if Liszek is indeed the one with the aggressive income, if Liszek ends up on the good side and he can just take the hill, it can make it really hard for your panzer to get back on, and your panzer needs to go the long grindy way to actually eventually get back in. This is time that Liszek can really do work somewhere else as well, and use his income advantage, and it gives Liszek an early tick, which would be quite advantageous. If Liszek is on the bad side, you should even more focus the town, because he has 4 flags, he can get there realistically. That's how I would look at it. At the moment, it's a 50-50 with 8 votes, so we have some believers in Japaasa and 5th Panzer, we have some believers in Liszek and his 122nd. Which says hard to call this one. 5th Panzer is just so mid and can deal with 122nd, but if the game goes long, Liszek got this. Well, it depends on who has the longer income, actually, because 5th Panzer actually has, I always say, try to pronounce it in an English way, because I speak English when I'm doing the cast, but I actually always, I could do the German pronunciation, because I should, like, it's my language. I always switch into English, but anyway, just notice again. It happens. It comes in waves, so I notice and try to correct it, and then I just fall back into the English one. Anyway, which says there is this one guy SD2. Yeah, the 5th Panzer guy. I know. But he has, like, this. There are some people sometimes who they're secret native French speaker. No, unfortunately not. I really wish my French was actually good, but it is far from native level, and of course not native now. Actually, Koenig sent me a suggestion for a rule set for a tournament in French, and I was like, okay, I get the channel concept, but there was quite a few words I was like, I have no idea what you're trying to tell me. So I had to look up those words. Anyway, back to this. It really depends on the income they chose. If he passes the Maverick player, he really doesn't want to go long, because 122nd is good for the grind. But at the same time, I think 122nd doesn't have enough pushing power long term, even though it has the artillery gun, because 5th Panzer has so too. So, if Liszek in fact went Maverick, I do think Japaasa being able to stall will win him this game, because you can have a good artillery tab. You can have a big artillery tab. If you have weak income in C phase, it's not going to help you all that much in the long run. But yeah, back to the other fight guy. Yeah, I know there's the 5th Panzer guy. And I mean, you have some people with a lot of divisions. Like, some people just play one division and they just perfect the way they play with them. And that doesn't not necessarily mean that this is, unbeatable or anything like that. Or it might not even be the best way to play it in general, but just with how they like to play, they just adapt the division quite nicely to that. And the 5th Panzer guy is one of those. It's the same way as I think Senpai opens with 2nd Panzer every time. Like, you can hate it, and I do, but he has put some thought on how he follows up with this. Like, he is Like, he actually knows. He doesn't just rush and then do something, just because like, oh, I can reinforce here, I can reinforce there. Like, he has the right units that he brings to reinforce that push. It makes it super hard and annoying for you to get back. So I think, and Fifth Panzer guy is kind of the same thing. He has his one way and he's perfected that kind of. That can make it very hard to beat sometimes. We also should not forget that plenty of divisions don't like, you don't see them, so you don't know what to expect, but also in a lot of matchups you just don't have the tools you need to deal with some of them. Some matchups you might not have the tools to deal with panzers efficiently. And then you can struggle quite a bit against the 5th Panzer guy. Also, I think one of the biggest things, and you notice this in top levels as well, doing something where your opponent doesn't know what to expect, really, that goes a long way. So I think there's another reason why 5th Panzer guy does so well, because like, if I told you that I was picking 5th Panzer, what would you expect? And then 5th Panzer guy doesn't really play 5th Panzer the way you would expect it to as well, so that makes it quite different too, quite difficult too to deal with it. Because you prepare from what you would think 5th Panzer should like do, but would be the smart thing to do, and then he does not do that, and then you're sitting there and like, fuck. So, but yeah, it is a very mid division at the end of the day. Sorry for that long ramble, but I need to stall time because we have to wait for the game. I don't really know what else to talk about. As you may or may not have noticed, I think it would be good to interact more with you guys. Just never know what is a good idea to bring up so that you guys can answer to it in a meaningful way, spark some discussion or something like that. Japaasa getting more votes, so people are more and more confident in him. But you know, the last time we did that, actually, no, we didn't. We didn't do the vote when he lost. The last time you voted yes, he won. I was wondering if you guys would also voted for him in the last game, though. So maybe that is not much of a. Maybe that is not the deciding factor here. Maybe instead of caster's curse, we have the viewer's curse now. Although it would actually not be the curse here, because according to the thing that Attack Barrel always had, they call the caster's curse. You say something, then or you say it wouldn't happen, would happen. But in this case, you were right with voting for your pass in the first game. So maybe we'll do that again. We can also have a quick look. I know it's not everyone who likes to watch those because the numbers are usually lower, but I don't care. Mind asking what your job in real life is? Make me proud and build a gulag. We have Joseph Stalin here. Okay. Interesting choice of a name. I am working as a chemist. That is about as much as I will tell. I don't like giving away too many private things, but just a very generic job description is, I think, not. Should answer the question, but it's also not too telling. I actually want to switch back to, oh, not this one. Wait, did I never switch away from that? Or did I? Oh, I think I switched to something else. But anyway, so this, by the way, is Koenig's tier list, which I'm using for my playing every division. And so, important thing is, we're done with this tier, we're done with this tier, we're done with this tier. The next two divisions, which I will probably do before, which are not before, but which I will still be doing in my little break, which is going to be the next 2 or 3 weeks, is this one, Nordland, we still have to do, and then my beloved Corporal, which is a really, really cool division. So those are the next two, and then we finally move up to C tier. And I might just combine it with C plus tier as well, so that we have some more options, because then we can finally start mixing some Western Ally division in there, which so far we have not really been able to do. But I'm looking quite forward to this. So there's going to be a lot of fun ones in here. So here there was like some fun ones that I actually enjoyed quite a bit playing. Like for example, that was a cool one. 17th, as much of a struggle as it was actually quite, like, I like the division. But there were also some like 5th Panzer, which are just there. But now we're gonna move into very fun territory. So most of my favorite divisions are kind of in this window right here. I know these are all cool and whatnot, but I don't know. Those are the most fun ones, me personally. But that's just to give you a little bit of a heads up what's coming ahead. Oh, hey, Luca. The ones coming up look great for the series. Oh, they're gonna be fun. Japaasa still favored by most people, actually more clearly now, and they've not started deployment yet. You have to wait a little bit longer. Actually, quite a few games being played at the moment, although most of them are like teams, but still, some important one, which I love to see. But yeah, I'm also working on the map guides, so I don't know who's watching, who's like giving me feedback on that on when I did the poll. I've not forgotten about it. One I've recorded already. I sent the link into my Discord for some feedback, and I really tried to make it look good. But just with the tools that my editing software has, just with the simplest tools, and it looks really bad. Like, it gets the point across of where you need to look at, but it looks like I don't know, someone in primary school has done it. But that one should come out soon, and then in order to not spend as much time on it and speed it up, I will in the future just use something that highlights my mouse cursor, so that it is very clear what I'm showing at, but it will not do any editing or editing, video scene, because I haven't done that yet, but I wanted to also edit it, like, for example, when I was talking, like, you can clear this with an off map like that, edit some tournament game in where you can see that. But I will not do that, I think, for the future, because then I can just record them, cut it, and then it's basically good to go. And then I get the map guides out relatively soon, so I can probably do one every other week. I think every 2 weeks is probably good plan. And then they're out and actually help people, because if not, it's something that I just put, I'm like, okay, I need to do that at some point, and well, I like the guide to be ready. At the same time, I need to do my regular uploads, and I don't have unlimited time, so I just end up not doing it. So this is why I basically try to this is why I'm just gonna bring them up relatively soon with little editing, so that at least they're out and actually help people, even though the quality is not as good as it could be. And then I can do some other guides after that, because I think what really also needs to follow soon on the channel is some generalistic guides, because the map guides are useful, I think, for the specific maps, and it is something that a lot of players said they could really use that. But at the same time, I'm still convinced that some generalistic guides on how to do certain things would be very important. So of course I want to move on to those eventually as well. But that's also going to come. That's also planned. First one might actually be coming out this year still. First one or two. And then we have to see how fast it's going to go. Okay, I really wouldn't mind if if they started the game, but of course they have to wait a little bit as well. Yeah, they're taking the sweet time at the moment. Surprised to see 5th Panzer favored though. I really am. Now the question is going to be: are we going to see Japaasa air spamming with his good strafers? Because it would be, as annoying as it is to play against, it is kind of satisfying seeing the strafing plane just absolutely shredding everything in its path. I think we cannot deny that. It feels super dirty if you use them, but oh no, it's this one. I'm an idiot. It's already running for a while. I think that is Liszek, because he just changed the name, and he did that last time too. I just realized it then. And I kind of forgot. I should have looked at the map and realized. So we're catching up. Yeah, this is it. Japaasa's on the good side, which I think is for him the bad side. No, never mind. Sorry. He needs to be on the good side. No, screw that. Again, sorry. Japaasa wants to be on the bad side so they can actually grab ground here and not lose too much here, because he can only lose 3 flags. Here he could use 4 flags. At the same time, if Japaasa can win this early on, I think it's good for the game. So we're going to close the poll then. Sorry for the unnecessary long waiting time. It looks like it's been playing for quite a while already. I was just stupid. Actually, no. I think we caught on. No, not yet. How does it happen when I make my list? Seeker C mid-range. I play 3 out of 5 Slutsky snaps. Who said that? Liszek. To be fair, no, actually Seeker C division, Liszek is very, very good. Very well set up with his divisions. It's a mid-range where he can suffer eventually. Because he doesn't have that many mid-range divisions left. This is very Japaasa. Japaasa would want mid-range maps, and at this point, long-range maps. Liszek on the other hand would be very, very happy to play, because Streets outsell really. The recon planes out by both sides. Oh, the Finns have a P2 you captured once. Forgot. I was thrown off a little bit by seeing a Russian plane here in a Axis versus Axis matchup, but that makes a lot of sense actually. Never mind. So Japaasa trying to get in here down south. We do see an IG-18, but he's on the road, which means he can't pressure this. It's like over here he can start shooting at things, but this way he just first needs to get there. 242 deploying, maybe a little bit early. Flame is trying to get in here. 2 versus 1 should do the trick for Japaasa really. Defense deployment here for Liszek. So Japaasa's on the balancing income, Liszek is on the Maverick one. It's good for Japaasa. Because I really do think that this is more of a balanced map in general, but of course if you're not good enough of a player, which this is not the case, both of these are very good players, but if you're not good enough of a player, of course you still need to go Maverick, just because if your opponent does, you will lose. And Liszek, as we expected, is going for this. Focke-Wulf coming in, ME210 Strafer coming in. I'm not sure if that's going to kill Focke-Wulf head on. Is this the light bomber that one? It is. It has the medium resilience. It could get on the back of the ME410 potentially. Does not try to do that. It's going after the O215. Wants the very good resilience, so it survives it actually. ME410 has another go. If it gets on the back of the Focke-Wulf, that would be quite a good kill for Japaasa. They can still do the strafing anyway. There's 2 50mm mortars, the Finnish ones with the 800mm range. I think this probably captures Russian ones. No, did he dodge it? Because it's not even smoking. I think he might have dodged it. 13-11 for Japaasa by grabbing this with the Panzergrenadier. The Grenadier cannot really do much against it, but the IG-18 is quite dangerous. It killed the machine gun by the looks of it. SKS 250 could pop out here and work on the Grenadier, but he needs to be careful, of course. I think he's afraid of there being a... Oh, he's dodging it again. Wow. The DO-215 is really going to survive this for quite a while. P2 has a go as well, but this thing is not really well armed, so... Maybe 410 just keeps missing. 50mm now moving up. And again, it... Is it just doing that, or is... I kind of missed it. Was it just sporadically doing air micro, or did it just naturally just dodge it all the time? Because it's good air micro if it didn't. But now it's a flag 43 in. Focke-Wulf is falling back. Flag feeling is also in on Liszek's side. Sturmpire moved up here. Nice move there by Japaasa, getting a flag for free basically. Also letting him know that he can definitely go over there. SKF now moving up. There's a lot in here. Never mind. They can definitely stop that. Over here, Japan's still grabbing that flag. This is one of the reasons why. This side is not just worse because if you lose this, it's hard to get back in. It's also worse because your opponent can easily get a flag here for free at the start. So it is very easy for you to beat down a flag and then you have to work for it. And that can make the difference, you know. Smoke being used, actually. It's great to see this in 1v1 because you don't see it very often. I find it very hard to pull it off next to all the things you also need to do. But it's a great move. Light Junta moving in. SKF 250 is about to die here, most likely. Lat is also moving up, and there we go. The SKF goes down. Adjunta versus Pioneer. Well, it's a free grenade for Light Orienta. 15 points only, but it paid off already. More Light Orienta coming in. More Grenadier. Storm Grenadier actually coming over here, the center. One Flamer still alive here at the moment. Japaasa not really fighting more with that. 2 Martyrs in here. Oh no, Martyr and the Grille. Martyr coming in as a response by Liszek over here. Pioneer also moving up over there. Could potentially move in here and start putting up pressure over there. Guerrilla is ground attacking. Flamer has moved out of the building and moved back in. It's not been spotted yet though. P2 still providing reconnaissance, whereas Japaasa's recon plan died a while ago. But we have to be about it, not something we see every day. Grenadier here doing a good job at keeping the Sturm Grenadier at bay. I mean, the Panzergren is quite superior in this setting. Not necessarily to the Sturm Grenadier, that really depends on the range and the cover difference. But to the Grenadier, easily. 50 mils though, immediately pinned that. Good job there. As I said, 250 is moving in. If it can stay at a distance, it is quite useful. But if it ever gets within Latier range, it will die. And there's not much you can do. This one also died here, by looks of it. IT-33 up here. Nice position. Sturm Pyres coming in, trying to get in there, but the Marder could try and prevent that. Kind of going after the flamethrower, which killed the flamethrower that Liszek had. Focke-Wulf is coming in for a bombing run, but he can't kill more than both 2 of those. Now the spread here might actually, I was going to say, the spread might actually lead to this dying no matter what Japaasa does. But it's not looking too bad for him at the moment. He certainly wants to use his Draper plane again. And now that he bought it, it's not as expensive as other planes, but still 80 points that he has and should use whenever it's possible. So maybe somewhere over here. But for it to be used really efficiently, he needs another recon plane, of course. Japaasa currently on a 59 with him having grabbed this flag, and that flag right there. But it's going to be back to a 1410. Japaasa losing... Oh, they're flying into town here. 50 mils doing their work. Still have plenty of HE shells too, so... Liszek can keep going. For a while at least. 3 Light Orienta versus 1 Sturmpire. I think that poor guy is going to be easily overwhelmed right here. There's no way the Sturmpire wins this. 1-on-1, no question. Unless there's the ground attack trick. But 3-on-1, there we go. It gets deleted. That's another flag for Liszek. 13-11, still a lead for Japaasa, which is nice to have, of course. But with B-Phase coming up, he of course also wants to be in a comfortable spot in terms of tickets, as well as on the map. Liszek nicely pushing here. Japaasa not applying too much pressure, but of course in the open. But the problem is he of course needs to get back into a town over here, which is not ideal for him. So he's kind of in a spot. This is why I said Japaasa really wanted to be on that side, in my opinion. Because then he could have at least pushed this and got a lot of value. I mean, 410 is back in. Needs to be careful not to get baited over the flag feeling, though. How fast is this actually? 510, 580. It's doing exactly that. Japaasa needs to dodge it. Yeah, he's stopping. But he might just get it forced off by the flag feeling, which would mean that it is now not usable anymore. Focke-Wulf's trying to get on the back of it, actually. No, it is not. It would have had Japaasa continued, and that would have been the end of that. Panzer IV in here. But there's no armor here, actually, to support. I think Liszek might have saved up some of his precious sticks for B and C phase only. Considering that we haven't seen one. It just has the Marder in A phase. Maybe that's what it is. P2 is now spotting over here, and the Focke-Wulf will follow up and probably bomb one or two of these targets. He might actually be able to pin both at once. ME410 is back in action there. Flag 43 now coming in for the center too. That's definitely going to be needed. He might not be able to get to P2, but he might be able to get to Focke-Wulf if that is going for a bombing run. Another Focke-Wulf going in. Following up on the Panzergren. With them pinned. Is Liszek also moving in to surrender? He is not. SKF set would prevent that anyway, but another flag filling coming in down south. It will be both the key areas locked down, and Japaasa needs some artillery then to work his way back in. This thing has a really bad turning radius. That's one of the weaknesses of that unit. Another one being in action up north, where Liszek actually got another flag. So Liszek on a 1410 all of a sudden, having grabbed both of these flags here, and re-grabbed all the flags that is previously lost. Flag 43 is constantly on the move. Japaasa is very much afraid of Liszek's air force. Liszek's artillery. That is not out yet, but Japaasa doesn't know. The only thing he knows is if his AA dies, he's in big trouble. Shrungren doing some good work. Japaasa moving into defensive positions over there. I think this is the problem with the strafer. You can't. It takes a while on target. You need to have vision on it. So this is where maybe the fighter bomber would have been a better choice for Japaasa. There's a lot of good targets here, but Japaasa can only go after one at a time. It's really hard to, like, he can't just go after one of these and then pin the rest of them. ME410 is back in. It's going to go down to the flak filling. Unless Japaasa, no, he micros it away in time. But yeah, I think Japaasa is just spending a bit too much time on air micro, which is not really paying off. The SD2 was going to kill the Grando, and then the Panzergren can move back in. It's only one, but if Japaasa sends another unit after it, I think that might actually work. P2 is also falling back. Now Flak 43 is in there too. Looks like the Marder did lose to the other Marder though. There's an Aufklär Panzer IV in position as well. Another one coming in up north. 1311 for Liszek, and as we reach B phase, Strig is coming. Although this one might have, due to distance travel, this might have been coming in just towards the end of A phase. So maybe Liszek actually had it in A phase. Another Lati coming in to deal with the SD2 set 250. Reinforcements for Japaasa come in as well though, and there's no IG left. So Japaasa should actually be able to get in there safely too. More Marders coming in to deal with the other Marder. Town fighting continues. Turret stuck on the SD2 set 250. That's of course unfortunate. More Sturmgrenadier coming in. Going to be quite the problem for Japaasa there. Flak 43 moving again. Japaasa doing a great job of keeping it moving. Pack 40 moving position. No, the IG-33 has spotted it. No, it doesn't. It didn't. It should be able to. If we look at the Flak Pack 40. It shouldn't be. If we look at the IG-33. I am very confused. But line of sight tool, as always, is a little bit wonky. So there's not that big of a surprise here at the end of the day. Oh, the first group is coming in. That is going to be quite the problem for in the open for Japaasa. But then again, if Japaasa micros the guerrilla nicely, especially if he gets more guerrilla, which are significantly cheaper than the group, I think Japaasa should do just fine with that. So should not be the biggest problem there. Fokker Wolf circling around, going after the Panzergren, which both have been unloaded in the same position, so that is going to do quite a bit of damage. This Panzergren is probably more of a problem because it can deal with the Lati. The Swarmy, if he gets within under 50 meters range, the Swarmy can do quite some damage here. While Guerrilla wiping out another unit here. Or if that Guerrilla could see the flak filling, that would be absolutely devastating. Of course, Japaasa doesn't know it's there, but that would be huge. 12-12 now, stabilized. That's good for Japaasa, of course. Liszek's push here has slowed down significantly. He's reinforcing with armor, which might be needed to push through this, but at the same time is actually problematic because this is the one thing that Japaasa can match. All Pack 40 is moved. IG-33 not really able to do much over here, and the Pack 40 is going to kill that Panzer IV for sure. Japaasa moving in with some Panzergrens though. Oh, has the... yeah, the APSR has not been turned off, so it actually did some damage. Japaasa's moving, and he's losing the tank nonetheless. I think some artillery... Japaasa should start buying some artillery, probably. Because at the end, like... I know that he's on the balanced income versus Maverick at the moment, but it is all very stationary. And Liszek needs to build up for a push, because he's very infantry heavy. So Japaasa can actually take the wind out of his sail if he builds up artillery now and just starts shelling things, because then those things are pinned, or maybe even dead, making it much harder for Liszek to even push forward and to even get, you know, the units that he needs for a push. Nice smoking here. Gren moving in. Lati following up. FC set will stop the Grens probably, and then the Panzergren is already in position, although it's quite weak and so it might not do it. More Panzergrens moving in. I would think that Japaasa actually has a problem here, since he is using a lot of infantry in these areas, and he will run out of infantry first, so this is where I do see some issues. Marder going after the other Marder. Krupp though about to move in, as Japaasa noticed. Marders win the fight. The two Marders won the fight versus the one Marder. Lati moving in position 2. SD2 set about to go down. Lati will pretty sure pin it. Okay, we'll even kill it immediately at this range. There we go. Not IG-18 coming in. So this is probably... yeah. Although Japasa's trying it again, he needs to be careful though, so that you do not get sniped by the Lati. Black 43 is about to move out. Japasa's still determined to try it. Panther A now coming in. Gorilla spotted the Stu and is probably going after Stu. Or did he spot something over here? No. I mean, eventually HE will kill, but it's going to take a while. Oh, he's ground attacking, is it? No, he's not. It just missed horribly. Group moving into position to kill those Martyrs. Japaasa not noticed. He has a build after this. Should be able to see it. Might be more busy up north. Oh, Focke-Wulf did go down. That's huge for Japaasa. Killing the AA. Thinning out the threat potential there a little bit. IG-33 versus Pack 40. IG-33 wipes out the Pack 40. 50 mil might actually follow soon. No, the IG-33 doesn't spot it. Panzergren won against the IG. So Japaasa potentially able to re-grab it. And, I mean, he's actually quite thin here, Liszek. Yes, brings some Poison in, which are kind of a hybrid unit, but they're not really all that good at range. Vampire throwing in smoke. Trying to get closer to Sturmgren. I don't know what else was shooting at it. Or after that Panzer IV was shooting at it. Might now be able to surrender it. But yeah, so at the moment, Liszek is not actually in a super strong position here, although he has armor and Japaasa has not, so that's a bit of a problem. Panzer IV is coming, another one's just being called in. So the response is following, but it might be a little bit slow. More Sturmgren now coming in for the town. I think if Liszek had focused on this and not also pushed over here, yeah, I think he might have been able to get this already. Or maybe it was just some infantry, honestly. Focke-Wulf here stopped the Panzergrens again. But they're moving in, and the Arch is not in the right position to do anything. Another group now moving into position over here. Japaasa needs to be very careful. This is a cheeky little position over there. Gorilla is running low on ammo, so more would be needed. But again, the group can be dealt with by Japaasa. If this was a situation where you have 2k HE in form of the IG-33 only, this would not be so good, because then the Stu-42 can deal with that safely, and then the group can protect it from the Panther. But this being the way it is, Japaasa can, with the ground attack trick, kill the group on. You just shoot, so if you haven't known, you shoot in front of the group, and then because of the spread, it will eventually hit. Coming round could once again not be stopped. Focke-Wulf should be able to get out. Group about to move into position. We do see reinforcements from Japaasa for the town, but the push is continuing on. Oh, and I have a ton of carefulness, which are not bad for CQC as well. Panzergren is in a position where I could potentially stop it with some small arms fire and with the Panzerfaust. They do have the SVT though, so they will gonna slap quite hard at it, even at mid-range. So we're going to be in the open versus Panzergren in cover. That's not the fight that the MP44 will win. But if you just, you know, fight your way closer and closer and closer, that can actually work quite well. Ooh, Strafer. Strafer is in again. Doing the work. Pluckbinning is not really caught up, and Japaasa will notice this, so he might be able to use that to his advantage. But still, I'm surprised that we don't see any artillery there. 3rd still for Liszek. But reaching the end of C phase, and don't really see superiority by Liszek. He is pushing harder, but Japaasa is putting the right units in place to stop that. And can't push. Like, Liszek continue to push, it could be tricky. FOS were stopped nicely by the Pack 40 and the IG-33. This IG-33 died though. And a response coming in? No. Oh, but the Strafer is being put back to work. Should probably pin both of these. No. Oh, this okay, it's in the other building. I thought it looked like it was standing right next to it. That's why I expected it. Japaasa bringing reinforcements. Sturmpires now for this. Oh no, Japaasa moving the Flak 43 out in the open. He has nothing to spot for this, and the IGT is moving up. That's a major mistake there by Japaasa. I don't know why he's doing these kind of pushes. Japaasa is like, this is something that Japaasa knows. Like, he's good enough of a player to know very clearly that you need to see what's there, and without fire support can't just move in. And you can't have the Flak 43 in the open like that. So I'm not really sure what his plan is there. But I don't think he noticed, just I don't think he's paying attention, because otherwise I can't really explain it. Is the ME2? No. 410. It started turning the other way, and then it just had no chance of catching that Focke-Wulf at all. Ooh, the Stück 4 spotted the IG-33. It is within heat shell range, which Japaasa did not turn off, so the heat shell should be able to go after it, but it looks like it wasn't spotted. How can it not spot the tank? I mean, it should be able to shoot. I think it must be bugged out. It looks also ready to fire. I don't know what is going on there, because the heat shell should be able to shoot at this range. That could one-shot that Stück full. Sturmgren being dealt with by Air Force. Good use. More Sommerpoesic moving in, and then IG-33 now coming in as well. So LSTK set 7-1 up north. So the Air Force days of Japaasas are counted. Quite quiet in the open though. So still surprised neither of those players has brought any artillery out. I really do believe Japaasa, despite being on the back foot, could have used that quite well to just make sure that Liszek can't really push over here or over here. Oh, now the IG-33 is wasting that Pack 40. Things are just not going well for Japaasa at all, and I don't really know what he could have... Like, this is just super unlucky. That Stücki didn't need to take that much damage. Uh-oh, more Sturmgrenadiers coming in. Liszek might just take another win here. I think Japaasa is really struggling, and now if you look at the map, Japaasa is not in a good spot. Hummel is now coming in. The problem is, Japaasa is now already pushed back quite significantly, so I would actually go as far as saying that now is really not the time for Japaasa to buy the Hummel, whereas earlier I think it would still been okay. Because because Liszek was just about to build up his push, he was just about to start getting, like, feeling the real advantage of his income. And this is where Japaasa could still stop him, because he was still building up. Now with the artillery, I think it might be a bit of a misplay. It's still possible that it pays off though, so I wouldn't put it down as a bad call necessarily, but now is not the best time. Also, he's not using it for the town where I think it would really be beneficial for him, because if Japaasa loses this entirely, he's not going to get it back. Like, this is the thing that he needs to be very aware. Japaasa doesn't have enough infantry to do it, and he doesn't have to ride infantry. So if Japaasa ever push out of this entirely, unless he has the off-map, which would change things quite considerably, Japaasa is not going to get the town back if he loses it. So, and for the open, he doesn't need. He has the Griller that can take out the claw. This is why this Hummel Karl is a bit odd to me. And 59 for Liszek, he's done it. He's gotten this flag with his push in the town. This is how you... Usually you see it the other way around, and then you start pushing in the town, but it works this way around as well, by the looks of it. We have two SDK Z71s, actually, not just one. So Japaasa's Air Force here is going to get decimated as it even moves in here. Stück is targeted, actually. But, okay, it's too close. So you should just go in and out, and without much damage. Actually, works out quite nice. Quite nicely. Panzer IV now moving in as well. Grenadier also coming in. Not a Focke-Wulf in there to deal with the Stück. I mean, is it damaged? Slightly. He may... Oh, never mind. He killed it. 59 still, and Japaasa has been ticked down for quite a while now, so he doesn't have that much time left. And now the spam wave from Liszek is coming in. The one Flak 43 might not be able to spot it. Timing between the planes is perfect, so that they are fast enough to get through, but not fast enough that they actually get stopped by the AA, which is huge. Hummel is now working on the Krupp. No radio for it though, and more Marders are coming in, which is going to be quite devastating. Right there. Oh, Japaasa has brought the half-tracks in Z-phase. Interesting choice. Actually a good choice, I think, because there's not that many, like, there can't be all that many Lati rifles left. So that might be just a tool that Japaasa actually really needs to get back in here. Marder is stressed out. Panzer IV dies. No armor here to protect it. And two Stücks pushing. Accompanied by an IG-33. Nice push right there. This IG-33 is wasting some Panzergrens. This one is stopping some Kev OS, which is really needed. Not a Griller coming in. I really think he should use this for the open, honestly. This is where he really needs those. The Hummel is doing good work on the A8 though. Liszek has not noticed. Probably because there's nothing going on here the whole time. Like over here. And even here, things have quieted down quite considerably. The H-23 is finally to move forward. Might stop see the Sturmpire. And it will still be in range for the Flak 43. So that could hurt quite considerably. Japaasa is trying to find a place where he can actually do something. Unfortunately for him, this is not it. Now the Krupp is pinned. this would be the time for Japaasa to make a move. Needs to be careful to stay out of line of sight of this group though, which I don't think he knows is there. So the Panther A, if he just pushes forward, is in big trouble. No follow-up so far. The time window is limited. The Hummel is going after it again, so Japaasa intends to kill it instead of moving forward. He could just move forward now. That would be safe. Wolf's going after the KFOS because the Panzergren can't fight it up close because this thing is 3 swarmies and 6 SVGs is quite dangerous at this range. SD2 forces off the Focke-Wulf, however. 15-9 for Liszek still. Pack 40 now moving to position to deal with that Panzer blob there. Stück blob. Oh, he might actually lose it in transport. Oh. Unloads in just the right moment. IG-33 is not in the right spot, so Japaasa might be able to get a kill. But the Pack 40 doesn't spot it actually. The Marder does. Now the Pack should spot it as well. Shooter killed. Quite unlucky there for Liszek. Pack 40 is opening up again. Both miss. Wow. Another volley of shots takes out the Stück. Marders are coming into the town though. Japaasa's half-track grabbed the flag. And no AT here that could do anything about it. So the half-track really working. Japaasa's just bought himself some time. He needs to stabilize and then he needs to slowly start pushing back. And the Panther moved into the range of the Krupp. As it is aiming at this Krupp or the Stu-42. No, he turned. Got taken out though. Stu-42 is now going after the flak feeling. And once again... Oh no. The guerrilla here died too. More guerrilla coming in though. So it continues. It continues. So I think he is I do think Japaasa has 2 cards of guerrilla probably. And then 1 card of IG-33. I believe. I might be wrong. 12-12. How did he do it? Oh, he got that flag for a brief moment and now he's lost it again. I mean, Japaasa's forces are super thin. Like, he's not really having a strong hold here. This IG-33 is doing the same thing as the one from Japaasa. I don't know what's going on today. They really should be using the heat. I don't know why they're not doing it. At least it's fair now. Japaasa can't claim that he lost because of this. Oh, oh my! Okay, so that flak feeling is going to get strafed. And there's nothing that Liszek can do about it. Oh, Japaasa targeted too late. He targeted too late. Focke-Wulf can still do it. No, Liszek, I think, manually focused. Yeah, Liszek manually focused the Focke-Wulf. Oh, he can still pull it off. Now the strafers can get back in. Recon planes are uncontested. They can then go after the Krupp. This changes a lot of things here. So this changes the whole power in this here. Japaasa's just patiently saved up. And he's gonna kill everything that Liszek has in the opening. The second 410 is targeted on the Krupp now. Both recon planes stay there. Flak feeling is dead. SD2 is coming in. But 3 or 4 of those can strafe a flak feeling too. So this thing is, yeah, it's going to be too slow with the bombs. Load it up. That Krupp is probably that. Yep. And Japaasa can finally make a move for the first time. Although the Lati is still here, so the Panzergren is still endangered. Oh, Japaasa got a kill here with his Marders. He probably killed that half-track over here. Hummel is now going after the... No, the Sturm Grenadier. I think he probably just put it on defensive fire over there. Japaasa's back on the clock. He needs to do something. Oh, and the flak 43 over here is finally going to die. No, he's attacking the IG. That must have been a misclick, I reckon. Down he goes. Some plane here just died. Could have been the Focke-Wulf, since I haven't really seen that. I might have been chasing after one of those planes. Could have also been the 410 though. It's flying over. Well, the wreckage doesn't really tell you. I think it's always looking the same generic way. But things are happening. Opportunities are used. The Panzergren here might die, and that would flip the flag probably. If not, the Panzer 4 will kill the Stu-42, and that will do the trick. Still, that Krupp here remains a threat. Japaasa needs to account for that. Panzer 4 versus Stück. And Marder. Is Pack 40 moving in though? Marder takes out the Stück. But not a lot of infantry coming here. Japaasa might be low on it. At least he's not calling it in. Tiger now coming in. Not ideal against the Marders, but can do it maybe. Focke-Wulf coming in once again, trying to stop this Panzergren over there. Lati also moving into position, but another Panzergren is already moving in. There we go, Guerrilla going after the next Panzergren. Focke-Wulf was also in for a bombing run on the IG-18, but Japaasa at the moment has no pushing power over there. Is this a flag flipping? It is. It is. It is. Japaasa might be taking it. I gotta admit, in my heart, I'm still a bit of a balanced player, so I have to root for Japaasa here. But he's playing a non-balanced division on balance, so not really sure what we can expect from that. Tiger coming in as well. Needs to be careful once again from that group. This flag can easily flip again, so Japaasa really needs to start finding 2 more flags soon. Otherwise, he's gonna struggle. Looks like this is the next one, and from there he can then start pressuring this right here. Or even this one. This is probably Japaasa's best angle that he has at the moment. But yeah, he needs 2 flags because this one can flip relatively quickly. Even though he's dominating at the moment in the open. Oh, the Panzer IV will be in range for the Krupp. So he needs to be careful. Panzer IV goes after Stück, misses. Not going to get a second shot. Krupp is moving to position. Don't think Japaasa can see it. Mushroom Pioneer coming in. I don't know why it does that sometimes. I do not believe that this is faster than this. Like, this should be faster. It seems to be a weird bug that sometimes happens. Panzer IV still in the open. Crew moving into position. He's not quite there yet. Stu moved around. Can't really do much at the moment. Marder's also pushing up. Panzergrenz going after the Grenadier over here. Lati has smoked itself off. Stück is waiting there patiently to go after those poor Grenadiers. IH-33 can't really do much at the moment. Maybe you should move it up. Hard to tell, but the Stück also needs to be dealt with. 3011 still for Liszek. There's now a Tanki Toriunta waiting. It's not going to make it easier for Japaasa at all. I'm not really sure why Japaasa picked this division, to be honest. He should win. He should have won this with 16th Luftwaffe. And I have no clue why he picked that division. I really have no idea. There we go. Liszek got it back. I don't actually know why. Maybe this moving over was really what did it. The guerrilla are spotting something but lost line of sight. You could just hammer this probably. We're going in quite close. Actually, 18 should reveal itself. It has heat shells left, so it could kill all those Panzergrens, which are waiting in plain sight now. Oh, there we go. Krupp finds the Tiger. Japaasa not paying attention. The Tiger spots it, but now Japaasa notice. Focke-Wulf's getting in. Should be able to kill the IH-18. Yep, it does. Trimpire gets wasted, but Panzergrens should now be able to move in freely. Krupp spots the Aufklärer Panzer IV now. The guerrilla is going after the Krupp, ground attacking as you should. That does not risk the guerrilla, but will eventually, it's going to take a while, kill off that Krupp. Or at least pin it, which then allows Japaasa to make some moves. The problem with Japaasa's game plan at the moment is the Hummel strategy here is a very slow one. It's going to take a while for him to actually get into... Oh, and Sturmgrenadier finds Grenadiers out in the open. It's quite weakened though, so it's probably going to die before he can win this engagement. Kampoya here is ready to spot as well. Oh, and here comes the Air Force again. Black 43 is too far back, can't really do anything. A row of Panzer IVs now coming in. I mean, I think over here Japaasa can likely just brute force his way into it, but he needs to be careful because the Tanki Toriunta. Actually, never mind, he can't brute force his way into it. Krupp had to move back, which gives Japaasa another flag, but still, it's not a permanent kind of thing. Nice push over here. Those are both Sturmgrenadier, so that's going to hurt quite considerably. Though the half-stack should help a lot there. Hummel is running out of ammo. No artillery from Liszek actually whatsoever. But so far he hasn't needed it because Japaasa's AE was too weak. So oh no, Japaasa grouped up again. But this is yet again a push that gets stopped. But Japaasa's going to get a flag with his half-track. 12-12. So stabilizing for a brief moment, even if it's not durable, matters here. Oh, look at that. Tanki Toriunta being forced back. That's massive. Stück Foto running into Pack 40. No, dodging it. Never mind, not dodging it. It's interesting. To say the least, Marder also following up. This Pack 40 spotting... What? The Krupp here? No. Or the Krupp here spotting the Sturm Pioneer. Interesting. Japaasa making a move for that too. Guerrilla getting killed by yet another Krupp. Tiger needs to be very, very careful here. Hummel is not going after it. It's going after that Krupp over there. It's gonna stay interesting. I spotted the Sturmgrenadier out in the opening, and the Panzer IV did get taken out by the Pack 40 into Marder. Japaasa just struggling here quite considerably, actually. This might not just not be Japaasa. I mean, Japaasa is more of an infantry player as far as I can tell, so I'm not really surprised that on an open map like this he has some issues, especially with the tank division. If the Sturm Grenadiers go down, that would be 12-12 again. That also means that the Panzergren should now be able to move in uncontested, although that could be a problem because this one is still alive, and that one is the one hiding in dangerous, very dangerous spot actually. Black 40 also in position now. It's going to shoot at the Panzergren. More guerrilla coming in. So Japaasa it's not done yet. The Hummel needs to be resupplied though, and the Krupp is still alive, so that is I think is a problem there. To get set moving forward. But everything here in safe position. The Hummel is out of ammo and needs to be resupplied. No supplies coming in so far. Focke-Wulf going in probably a little bit too deep. There's a flak filling here, but it looks like the two SD2 set over here have died, so there might be a chance of Japaasa actually getting in there. No one is a strafer. One going after the Krupp got stopped though, so that is... But actually no, that is just as good because then the Panzergren can move in and finish off the Krupp. So it's going to work. Not an SDK set one coming in. How many of those does Liszek still have? Wow. Krupp now moving into position. I mean, if the Panzer IV blob can just move in, I think they can just overwhelm the Krupp at this point. But they need to get in range. That's the tricky part. 30-11 for Japaasa for the first time. He's grabbed this flag, but Tank Turret is about to change that again. Not a flag 43. He gets forced off at range. Japaasa is really bad with keeping those alive. And the tank blob can't see the Krupp. The Krupp can see the tank blob quite well, though. But they will get into range eventually. Panzergren is getting forced off. This is what actually got in the flag. Oh, there we go. Tiger has opened up. The Panzer IVs are also opening up. I mean, is it a lot of wasted resources? Yes, but is it successful? I think we cannot debate the fact that this strategy works. Not really sure what this is about to do. Panzergren. Oh, the Sturmgren is in here, saving the day here. So that's going to bring it back to 12-12. More Panzergrens moving in though. As not given up on that area yet. But he might actually be able to be more successful. He has 40 minutes left and he needs a 59 eventually. So he cannot allow himself to stay on the 12-12 or 13-11 for too long. Like, he needs to get going. He's lost too many tickets here. Oh, this is one of the ME410s going down, I assume. No ammo coming in. He has the Hummels. He needs them to dig out the defenses here that Liszek has. Like, Liszek has the good units to fight over this. So if Japaasa really wants to be able to contest this, he needs his artillery. But his artillery is sitting silent since quite some time. It's also bad because artillery is expensive at the end of the day. So you really... Oh, the Stu-42 takes out the Tiger there. Things really not going as planned for Japaasa. Now the Liszek is back on 13-11 with nothing here actually grabbing this flag. Japaasa really needs to move something in there that can do it. Tank Turret might get slapped around here quite hard by the Panzergren. Then again, Sturmgrenadier and Tank Turret, because this thing has a few rifles, will win this fight. Focke-Wulf can also win that fight. There we go. That might be another flag lost. Relay. Nice tool here to deal with that. They can actually kill the SDK sets at 1-2, which is why Liszek is moving it. Because SDK sets at 1 do not have any armor. So my Poisit spotted... What? Oh, the Beobachter. Panzer IV might spot it now. Or the guerrilla also spotted it. No, that's also Panzer IVs. Did the guerrilla all die? Looks like they did. Oh my. That's I think it's really not going as planned for Japaasa. I think Japaasa is trying to do too much in too many areas at once. So when you're playing balanced versus Maverick or Vanguard for that matter, it doesn't really. It's kind of the same concept, and you have your opponent has pushed you off some areas, and you need to find a way back into the game and trade your way back in. What you don't want to do is, I think what we see here is you don't want to try it in all the places at once, because yes, you're eventually going to get an income advantage, but you need to focus one place at a time and kind of and just grind your way in. Doing what Japaasa is doing here, like this can work. It's not the ideal play, but you know, it can work. But like pushing over here as well and here, would it just be focusing on one area? I think he could get like this area and channel, or he could get this, but then he would need to invest into ammo for his Hummels instead of more tanks for the open. I think either of those options would probably be a good idea. But doing both in a not really very organized way is kind of a recipe for not getting either of those. At least not fast enough. And I think that's what really matters. And 14-10 for Liszek once again. As this one flips again. And what else flipped again? This one. Yeah, he's also trying, like Japaasa's pushing a bit everywhere, and it doesn't really work well. He needs one angle, like one area that he needs to focus on, and then he can get that. Like the Panzer full blob, for example, can realistically work. It gets decimated again by the group, but if it spots it, this group is dead once again. And then I think Japaasa's going to get a flag for good. Oh, there's another Pack 40 here, which Japaasa might actually be able to see. And again, the Panzer full blob will probably win that engagement. It's such a... It looks like... You look at this and like, this is such a new play, but it is actually quite effective. More so than you want to realize. Like, this is not a new play at all. This is... You need to know when you can do this. This is the important part about this kind of play. You do it in the right moment, and it will win you games. You do it in the wrong moment, and it's going to lose you games. Looks like the Tank der Runde here died, which is huge, because then the armor here can actually start really doing work. But reinforcements are coming in. And still, no ammo. Japaasa has 1.5 minutes left, and I don't really see him getting that other flag that he needs. And once again, he has a lot of Panzer force here, and they're slowly clearing things out. Had he a lot more forces over here, he will get that flag. Had he more forces over here, he will get more than that one flag. So, that is that. That also makes it easier, by the way, to protect your assets versus AA. Oh, he needs supplies desperately because the AA is running out too. But yeah, as I was going to say, you need units in more... Like, you can focus the AA in one area as well, which helps you a lot. Panzer 4 blob could potentially win against the group again. Not potentially, it's going to win against the group again. Pack 40 here died as well. It needs to move forward, though, to get that flag now. Japaasa also needs to move that forward to get the flag, because if... I mean, this is not going to affect the flag, 12-12, but he needs pressure soon. Shrimpire push here might get this flag too. Oh, but the Stuck's in the town. Yeah, see, this is the problem now. Oh, no. I think Liszek's going to get it again. 13-11, though. 13-11. And more Panzer force just pushing in the open. Stu can kill one of them, but he can't kill all of them. Ammo explosion. Well, it one-shots it anyway. It is a 10 damage heat shell. Panzer force immediately wiped that out. 13-11 for Japaasa, and now he needs a 15-9. He needs an 18-6 even. Like, Japaasa needs to push the spawn now. He needs these flags, he needs this flag, he needs this flag. He needs all the flags he can get, really. Oh, nice. A side angle there for the Pack 40. Potentially a game changer here. Although the Shrimpire should still win this. As long as it doesn't reveal itself too. More Grenadier coming in. I think he's counting on the Shrimpire running out of ammo. Not a push by Japaasa, but it might just be too slow. The Shrimpire here could really be useful to get this flag. More Shrimpires just pushing across. Well, I mean, the tanks actually support it, so Japaasa also needs to make a run for this flag. Just send anything in there. ME4 10's going for another strafing run over here. That could be decisive here. Sturmgrenadier, though, is a big threat right there. 12-12 once again. Oh, Japaasa lost the flag. This will tell Liszek there's nothing here Liszek can do. Go for a counter push over there and probably seal the deal. Japaasa's not going to win that. I don't think. And now he's pushing, putting a lot of forces down here now, where he's shifting those though, so it's actually working out. But yeah, I think, so his push here, what they kind of achieved is he made Liszek invest a lot into fighting over this, and now he's lost it because he didn't invest enough resources into that push. And now Liszek is actually winning that push, which is quite devastating for Japaasa. Back to 12-12, but the Shrimpire blob continues to push, and the ME410 is going after Sturmgrenadier and will win that fight. 2 flags for Japaasa. 12-12, another 13-11. But every second that Liszek continues to stall will bring him closer to victory. Japaasa needs an 18-6 basically now, immediately. And even then it's probably not going to do it. I think he needs a total defeat there for Liszek, which is not going to have. Pack 40 dies. But the armor blob is just too slow. Oh, Shrimpire gets caught out of position. Bockwolf here to save the day though. Wins the fight. Japaasa stays in the game, but he needs more. He needs more, and he's not getting it anytime soon. He's getting one more flag over here, but what he really needs to do is needs to get into this part of the map here, which is where a lot of flags lie. And the Grenadier here just stabilized again. This is GG's. Japaasa will not be able to take the win out of this. This is gonna go to Liszek. We might see the end of it. 50 minutes though, potentially, but there is no way Japaasa can still win this. It's just no way. STKF set might reveal itself here. Give up away another flag, but it's not going to matter anymore. This is it. And Liszek might actually get this flag over here, weirdly enough. Not a flag for Japaasa. But the 15-minute mark, which is determining for tournament games, will be what's deciding this. And Japaasa is only now on a 13-11 once again, and it's not really enough. It was super close for him to stabilize, but it's not close enough when it comes to the turnaround. Because the problem is now that all these forces were useful to grab this. He can trap the spawn, but it's not going to get him many flags. He has the units in the wrong place. Same as Liszek in the first game. Japaasa has invested a ton of forces over here when he needed them over here, really. And this is the place, of course, where he can hardly push. So there's no blame on him there. That's just the realities. Yep, there we go. Liszek takes another flag. Flag is going to fall. More Grille are coming. Jeez, how many of those does Japaasa have? He probably had one card of Stück and then one card of Grille in... I don't know what he did. One in A, one in B, one in C? One in A, one in C? Or did he want to go A, B, no. A and then C? Because I think he had the Gorilla in A and the Stück in A. I think we saw both those units in A phase already. Oh, actually, Liszek is about to stabilize even. And this is close too. I think Liszek might actually be able to win this entirely now. If he really wanted to. Like, even without the time limit, he might be able to pull it off now. He gets this flag, he moves second Grenadier over here. Done. Yeah, he gets his flag. There we go, 13-11 for Liszek. 36 seconds left for Japaasa. He needs to do something now. And I don't even see him doing it. Japaasa spends, like, this is so many points in this one place. And it did what it needed to do good enough. But there was nothing up here. And once again, if Japaasa had resupplied those Hummels, everything here, and it had to be, there's just 122nd doesn't have that many units. Everything over there was infantry based. And Japaasa tried to push past it without using his artillery. That doomed him. If he had the artillery going on, or he may, oh, I see what's going on. He probably took all the Grille and the AG-33 and forgot the ammo. I mean, I have a feeling that Japaasa didn't have any ammo in his deck. And by taking the, what's it called again? The artillery piece, the mobile artillery piece. By taking this one, he couldn't have ammo transport, so he had no ammo whatsoever. I think that is probably what we've seen here. And there we go. Liszek out-traded him, but that's only about 500 points, which, all things considered, with how long it went and the income advantage they get with balanced, this should have been a total defeat for Liszek. But again, Japaasa had his points in the wrong places, probably not enough infantry, because he wasted way too much infantry early on. And the fact that he didn't use his artillery afterwards because he either had no ammo or just didn't bring it, I think that's what really killed him. Again, had he had this artillery going on, he could have slowly grinded Liszek down there. Liszek could have not defended that. And then with the little infantry that he had left, and with the army, could have actually moved in, and he could have grabbed that hill, and then he could have grabbed the town. This would have been winnable, I would actually say. But yeah, it wasn't meant to be by the looks of it. Let's go through the chronology real quick. We can clearly see that Japaasa got some good value at the start, but so did Liszek. And it kind of then, yeah, with the Maverick Income, it became Liszek dominated at some point. And then it actually continued for quite a while until Japaasa slowly started getting back into the game. If you look at the kill, the Lati, no surprise, did some good work. The Focke-Wulfs, they were quite powerful this game. Stug did some good killing. Not a Stug that did good killing. Oh, the Krupp, the 88. Look at that thing go. I mean, in the end, Japaasa just brute forced his way in, so that explains part of that trade difference. Japaasa just didn't give a fuck. And honestly, I really like that play. Because I think Japaasa, it might have been desperation, but I think it might also have been part of like, I can get away with it if I just brute force my way in it. And I actually like that mindset. We don't see it very often, but it really does work sometimes. Marder trading super well, no big surprise there. Another Krupp, another Stug doing very well. On the other side, Japaasa Skrilla did do some good work, just not versus the Krupp, which is what it actually should have done probably. Actually, 33 actually did some good work too. Marder also. Panzer IV doing very good work too. The Focke-Wulf as well. Some of the ME410s have not been doing that good work, but this one already traded up just by killing a flak filling, which is one of the most, not toxic, you know, it's not really toxic in my opinion to go after A pieces, but it feels so humiliating if you're on the receiving end. Like really, really, really humiliating. Which I wasn't expecting that. I thought Japaasa had this if the game went long. I think so too. Like he should have had this. He just really misplayed it, in my opinion. For that is it. It would have been winnable. He made bad decisions. That's what lost him the game, and the fact that or the fact that he didn't bring any ammo, which is an assumption. But the more I think of it, I'm quite sure that he probably really didn't have any ammo in his deck. That is my expectation. We can actually check the Discord real quick. I will ask him. I do think that is probably what happened here. Richard also says Liszek is turning into a beast as of late. Remember playing him in Division 4 a while back. Well, no, that can't be right. Liszek has definitely not been a Div 4 player. You might be mistaking it with someone, because Liszek is by far not a Div 4 player. He was away for a while in the game, and he came back, and I think he pretty much went straight back to Division 1. In FP Arena, he had some struggle in Division 1, but over here, he definitely, like, slowly he's turning up again and is being really powerful. He's a real beast, that's true. Oh, hello, Mirbrook. Nice to have you here as well. But yeah, Liszek, quite powerful at the moment. But also, again, I have to say, I'm really baffled by Japaasa's lack of picking, by Japaasa not picking a better division. He had better choices. Like, he had plenty of divisions that could deal with 122nd, and he chose none of them. So that is baffling. I mean, 116 would have been, I think, not 116. 16 would have been decent pick in my opinion. That would have done the trick just fine. So it is surprising. It is surprising for sure. But it is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, Liszek can be happy about 2 wins, and it means we are going to get 1 4th game. Likely not today, though. Or at least I'm not going to stream it today, because I think it's enough for today. It's almost been 4 hours. But we're going to get at least another game. And if we're super, super, super lucky, we might get a 5th. And I will, of course, cast both of them. Granted, they're good. Otherwise, I would just combine them into one video again. Something like that. I'll have to look into it when we get them. But it's definitely going to be... It's going to take a while, though, until we get those. Because Liszek said that I think, starting next week, he will not be able to play until somewhere in January. So we're going to have to wait a while for the finals to conclude. In the meantime, for this specific tournament, we have the intermediate bracket where I will be playing Jeff Jefferson also, but I'm likely not going to stream that. But for those of you who are following the tournament because you're playing yourself, I will likely just sit in the Discord and in the FOB Discord and share my screen so you can watch if you want to, but I will be muted, of course. Anyway, that is going to be it for today. Oh no, Japaasa said he brought the ammo with the 88, classic mistake, which I went from. So he brought 88s for AA, probably brought the ammo and then never used it. So yeah, this is of course not an ideal call. This is why I don't like to do these kind of plays. It's not what I want to do. Let's actually check 5th real quick. Because, yeah, so I'm not sure if he had machine guns, but if he had the Aichin free, would have been expensive already. So you don't want to add the ammo. If he had another guerrilla, oh no, he couldn't have, so he has probably might have been this then, something like that. I don't know, but something along those lines was probably the deck. But anyway, if you bring ammo with your 88s, of course it's going to be very expensive, and you don't bring that unless you really need to. Which is what you pass at it. And again, as you said, classic mistake, because it can be very risky because then you don't bring the tool that you really need at the time. So, but that has been it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. I know it was a little bit more energetic at the start, but I got a little bit more tired towards the end. So there's hard to avoid that because I can't just drink a lot of caffeine because then I can't sleep afterwards. So that is what it is. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. See you all next time. There will be probably 1 or 2 videos coming out in the next 2 weeks. And then after my break, I will be back in full force as always. Thanks again and goodbye.